Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. BJ and DG here with special guest today, Mike. Right down there.
What's going on, everybody?
How's it going? How's it going? Danger Ginger here as always.
All right, and as always, let's get right into it.
So, where should we start? I guess a quick mention of Joe Hendry winning the TNA championship this past weekend. Much deserved. It's about time.
They all believed.
You know, we believed and it happened. Because if you don't believe in Joe Hendry, well, I'm not going to say that because I'd like to keep us at a certain rating. But refer to a Ricky Bobby and Big Red and commercial thing from the movie.
Infant tiny baby Jesus. Little 7 pound, 3 ounce.
Which also, by the way, TNA put on a heck of a show for Genesis and their live Impact. Mrs. Danger Ginger, Ryan Milky, how you guys doing? So, start at Saturday night's main event talking this week?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. It's nice and fresh in my mind since it was last night, so.
Yeah,
it was
so.
The climax of everything this week.
What was your overall impression of the show? Whoever would like to go.
Go ahead, Mike.
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was compared to the other events. So let me ask you guys this question real quick, though, before we jump in, because I had put this on Reddit and someone disagreed with me. Would you consider last night's event a PLE?
No.
Okay. I would consider it as
I said yeah, because since it was on like a platform at a design time, I figured it was like a PLE kind of event. Since it
was
something
also
that
on
happens.
Network Television.
I'm sorry.
It's just promoted as PLE style to get because it's on NBC, it's on normal TV, like regular TV, not cable or anything. It's something that they're only doing spaced out, so they're special events, so they'll get that PLE style promotion, kind of like the Netflix Raw debut did. That I would have put closer to. If you were to tell me, would you consider that a PLE or a normal show? I would consider that more PLE style.
But I guess since I don't have cable, I don't get to see that it's actually on like network television like that. I'm just assuming it's only on Peacock because that's what I used to watch the live events. Well, thank you for clearing that up for me. So
there's now like a third class emerging like special events.
Gotcha.
Better than our main event, the Netflix debut.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though, man. I thought it was solid. I thought it was really well done. Other than the fact that there were so many damn commercials. But it was cool. I liked who was the opener?
Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax was the opener.
It was a pretty solid match, man. You know what I mean? Like Rhea really showed her power. And Nia, you know, I knew she wasn't gonna win just because Rhea just got the title back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not
Nia also declared for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. But all right, what was the I'm trying to remember who all the matches were.
I thought the presentation was really good. You know, like I thought overall good show. Like it was what I expected.
Yeah.
I do something I love to shout out that almost like overhead style position where Jesse Ventura and Joe Tessitore were. They renamed that the Okerlund position.
Okay.
I absolutely think that is brilliant, and that was something because that's where Gene did so many famous interviews.
Dude, he's a legend. He is a legend. Mean Gene. We all know Mean Gene. Like, just unbelievable.
But yeah, first match of the night was Rhea and Nia, and boy,
she came out strong.
Yeah, I mean, both these women looked really good. Like, there was a certain point to where you know, if you had in your head that Nia was going to have a chance at winning, that there were a couple moments where you would think that Nia was going to win that championship.
Yeah.
But the power bomb spot out of the corner and then that electric chair spot that she took both those spots was just like, wow, like Rhea doesn't get to show that strength. It's definitely was a different style of match that I'm guessing both those women aren't used to doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like from when I started watching, like a year ago, I started watching at the Rumble. When I first saw Nia Jax, I was like, she's got to be like, she has to be a champion soon because she's the biggest one on the roster, both tall, wide, and just like, you know, she's a beast in the ring. You know what I mean? So I was like, I wasn't surprised when she eventually got her title. But it's always interesting seeing like who could possibly really like put up a fight with her. You know, granted, everything's, you know, played out how it does. But like seeing people go up against Nia, like I can see Rhea doing it because she can lift. Piper Niven because she's like equal.
Raquel Rodriguez, Bianca Belair, which we've seen. I believe
has been crushing it lately. She's really been doing well.
I am not a fan of Bianca Belair.
Okay. I can understand because I didn't like her initially when I first started watching it. I hated that whole hair twirl thing. And I'm watching the last year's Rumble, and she's doing it like right there. But I really, yeah, I don't know. I think she's got. I like her her KOD, Kiss of Death, her finisher.
It's more the character. It's more character for me. That's what it comes down to. I feel like the way that she presents much better as a heel. In her when she started in NXT, she was a heel. And like the idea that braid can be
Zip it, Mark.
Like, you know, she uses the braid as a weapon, right? That's what a heel would do, that, not a baby face. Like you're giving me heel tendencies and telling me that, oh, I'm supposed to outright cheer for this person.
Well, I feel like that's going to happen when Jade comes back, is they're going to flip that switch on Bianca and turn.
I think
being like her.
I'm at the point to where I could say that Bianca could have attacked her before the match and she just wasn't found till during the match. And I'll also put it out there, maybe it was Naomi and Bianca. Maybe
on Twitter she posted something after the one SmackDown segment. She was like, "Oh, you really don't know?" You know, saying that to Bianca
or Naomi. It was one of the two.
True. I think I could have sworn it was her saying it to. I don't know.
Just real quick with the heel mark, I think Nia has improved so much since her last run where she was injuring everybody compared to now. She just needs to work on her promo game more. Like when she speaks, it's hard to invest because it sounds like she's trying to be nice and not necessarily while being mean. Like it's speaking in a nice tone instead of being out there and being kind of like the monster she should be in that division.
Yeah, her character needs work, but I mean, she's got ability, you know.
Yeah.
Although she has injured a lot of people.
Yeah, but not in this run.
No.
She's come back.
She came back. She's been good.
Yeah. So next, we had the next matchup of the night was the men's Intercontinental Championship match with Braun Breaker and Sheamus.
Yo,
really good match.
Braun's my dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I said Nia needs to work on her promo game there, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This IC match.
Every match you see Sheamus in, it's just hard hitting.
Yeah. Like I was watching with my parents last night because it was my mom's birthday, so we were just chilling out, and he goes and hits him for the 10 bells, and my dad's sitting there, he's like, "Holy shit, you can hear how hard he's hitting him." My mom's like, "Well, the rope has give, so it doesn't." I'm like, he's still getting bashed in the chest.
Yeah, right. That's like
His big old Irish fist.
that's like when Gunther chops the hell out of somebody, and you're just like,
Dude.
oh, you feel
You
it.
hear it.
Yeah. Or those ones when you hear those chops that echo through the arena.
Right.
And you're just like, oh my God, why? What did you do
when you
wrong?
And you just
in
hear
the
the
back?
crowd like, you just hear the crowd, woo! Oh,
Exactly.
Like, did you take like the last chicken wing in catering or something? Like, what happened, man?
Yes.
But yeah, these and Braun Breaker, like that man has world championship and WWE championship.
I can't wait to see him with the title, man. I look
Oh,
forward
yeah.
to the day where he holds a world championship. He deserves it.
within the next 2 years.
Yeah,
I could see
easily.
him winning that championship before the end of this year.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's still
yeah.
like he's still.
Bro,
I mean, I wish he would go into WrestleMania. Honestly, I have so much invested in Braun Breaker. Like I think he is just the future.
I mean, he is the nephew of a genetic freak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But-
the son of one too.
I mean, what?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if I would say Rick was a genetic freak.
He was-
That's
he
where-
puts
that's
a
where the
different
dog-
market
that-
at you.
In a
Yeah,
way.
He's an animal.
I mean, that's more where like the animal mannerisms come from. When it comes from the physicality, that came from his uncle.
Yeah.
And you just look at Braun Breaker. That man comes off the ropes over 20 miles an hour. Who
Dude, he
you don't
moves
see,
so quick.
I hope he doesn't have their math skills.
I mean, he's made a Steiner math reference in
That's right, he
in
did.
NXT.
Yeah, you gotta touch the legacy every now and again, you know.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad that he's doing it like not by Steiner, you know. He's not, you know, he's going.
I hope
going around.
I hope he eventually takes the name though.
I don't know, man. If one of them came back and was like his tag partner for like a match or something, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, there is a rumor at the moment that Scott Steiner could be one of the special people for the Royal Rumble.
KO is right. KO
K-
is right.
KO was right. Now he just butchered his own points.
Oh, I
Yeah,
loved his promo with Sammy.
Yeah.
But we will talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
that a little bit later. Oh, well, that will be the next thing we talk about after this. So we're getting there. But yeah, and then Sheamus, like, how many beatings?
Eagle scored again.
You know, is Sheamus going to be out there giving?
Dude, Sheamus, that dude, he throws down in the ring, and that's what I appreciate about watching his matches. But he's another one that they keep putting him in these title matches, and he's just not getting it. He's not.
I
they're
mean,
not
but-
giving him the chance.
I mean, you know what, though? In this situation, it's more the idea of him getting the Grand Slam was the thing, right? And you know what? That
Yeah.
can come back around eventually. But right now, if you're going to build young stars, your young stars need the championship if they're at that point. And Sheamus is the perfect veteran to put him over.
Yeah.
Well, if KO was right, he wouldn't have to be going around beating everybody up to prove his point and have a fake championship. He would have beat Cody when he had the legit chance to when Cody's leg was hurt. And he wants to be mad because a champion didn't back down from a challenge because he had to team with somebody that he's had 2 WrestleMania main events with. KO's just jealous it's not him.
KO is right. Which is funny, man, because when I started watching again, I didn't like KO. You know, it was just something about him. I was just like, I'm not into KO. When he heel turned, now I'm a KO fan.
Heel Kevin Owens is the best Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he's best as heel. He never
Oh.
seems genuine as a face, but as a heel, he's just always just. He seems every bit as mean as what he's saying. You know.
Yeah.
And the whole KO thing, KO had a point. But you know what? Let's look at this out of perspective. When that tag team match at Bad Blood happened, right? Who did Solo challenge? He challenged Roman and Cody. Your top babyface champion can't say no to a challenge. That's what a heel does. So regardless of who he would be teaming with, And these are two people that have gone to war with each other. And guess what? They're both in the Bloodlines crosshairs. They're the paths crossed.
Yeah, but Cody pushed the issue. Kay didn't even want to fight him. He was like,
Well-
I don't want to fight you. And Cody's like, yeah, I want to fight you, though. You
Okay.
deserve a championship fight.
Okay, and then
And now this
his
is what he
leg.
gets.
Okay, and then Cody's leg was hurt in the match, and because KO
Couldn't
got
take it.
soft
Couldn't take
and decided to show mercy to Cody, KO is currently not the WWE champion, and he wouldn't have to parade around with a replica belt, just like I have here, and proclaim himself the WWF champion or WWE champion. All right. Mrs. Danger Ginger, we will get there. But yeah, so we get to the contract signing now. And boy, this contract signing was interesting. You could
it
see
was.
that these two the entire time just wanted to fight.
Oh, yeah. But, you know,
Yeah, did
Shawn
you
Michaels
just call the
was there.
Winged Eagle a replica belt?
That's what it is. Kevin
No,
Owens.
it's the Winged Eagle belt.
But it's a replica. It's not the official championship. It is a replica that any of us can go on WWEshop.com and buy.
No, that's the official. That's the one he gave Cody, right?
No, that was a one night only deal for
Yeah.
the last Saturday
It was
night's
pretty-
main event. He is,
But Triple H gave Cody the belt, the official belt,
yeah, and, all right, and what?
and Kevin
no,
Owens took it. So that's
and-
the
but it
official
was
Winged Eagle
announced.
belt.
It was announced as a one night only thing. He is parading around with a replica
But the belt
championship
is
like a
the
fan.
official Winged Eagle belt.
The official
stole it.
WWE championship is the
So it's
big
not a replica.
W, and that's the one that Cody has. He is just like a fan parading around with a replica championship belt saying that he's the champion.
That's what I'm saying, Milky. Like it is the real thing.
But he's not the real WWE champion, is he?
He's not the real champion,
Yes.
but that's a real belt.
So
He has the
this
belt.
is a real
Time
belt
travel.
too. I'm not the
Possession
smoking
is
skull
9/10 of
WWE
the law.
champion.
But that's not
Like, you
officially
got that.
licensed by the WWE.
Yeah. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Not, but so what is it in this case? Because now we have to break it down. That is not.
Even your
Well,
wife
who's-
said she's
all right,
right.
hold on. That her vote doesn't count.
Why? Because she's a woman?
Wow.
No, not at all. Because she's rooting for the Redskins.
It's not the Redskins anymore. We
What
have to
the
be
hell?
PC.
What the hell?
It's the Commanders,
What,
right?
what the hell?
The Commandos.
The Commandos, the Washington. Anyway, though, to this contract signing, you know, boy, KO took shots at Shawn Michaels about losing his smile. Which, boy, why we gotta
So
bring
what was
that
in
up?
reference to? I didn't really get
All right,
that reference.
so after WrestleMania, if I remember correctly, it was after Shawn won the Iron Man match. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
It was after the Iron Man. He beat Brett in the Iron Man match. Shawn had addiction issues.
Okay.
And so he came out to relinquish the title. And one of the things he said in that promo was, I've lost my smile. Like he's lost the passion to do it.
Shit.
So at that time, he lost the
Damn.
champion. Yeah, that was,
Damn. Ooh.
And he like
Yo,
quit
man,
for a while after
ruthless
that.
lately.
yeah.
KO's been a menace, and I'm loving it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a hell of a reference to make in that situation. 'Cause,
rough.
like, I'm sitting here watching it, I'm like, ooh, why?
And I'm
Why?
sitting there, like everyone in the crowd's going, "Ooh," and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Did he have like a heart attack or something?" And like lost his smile, like Jim Ross, you know, messed his stuff up.
No, that's the Jim
Yeah.
Ross lost his smile in a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
That's why he's-
this whole feud is something that part of me wishes would carry into WrestleMania almost. Because something like this, and we're going to probably be
Sick.
closing this chapter at the Royal Rumble and maybe Elimination Chamber. Because if Cody has to defend the title in the chamber for whatever reason, because Cody could come out and be like, well, I did the ladder match thing. I've never defended a championship in the Elimination Chamber because that's been the story they've told with Cody, right? But he wants all the big challenges and he doesn't care what he does to himself to get them. We've had people walking up to him like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? This isn't a good idea, especially being the champion, to put yourself out there like this. And you didn't hear nobody come up to John Cena during the John Cena US Open challenges saying that, right? You've never really heard that said to any other champion, unless it was his manager or something, not random people like, nah, man, not a good idea, bro.
Yeah.
It's really something to this. We eventually do get both men signing the contract, which finally, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not going to sign it until he signs it. Oh, I'm not going to
Dude,
sign
I
it
was so
until he
over
signs
that
it.
at a certain point. I was like, the second time KO went to pick up the mic, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, just sign the thing so we can move on. Like even Shawn Michaels is just like, guys, I don't really want to be here. You can see his demeanor was like, I don't want to be on national television. I just want to come in, do the thing, and get the hell off the screen and back into the back room.
Oh, but yeah, and then KO goes for the package pile driver on Shawn.
What an asshole.
Yo, yeah, he eats one super kick from Cody.
Yeah, I see that. All right, I have a problem with that. I had a big problem with that. You can't, like, why would Cody Rhodes super kick him? It's taken away from the Sweet Chin music. It's essentially the same exact thing. You just took the heat away from it. I was so disappointed.
I disagree just because, one, it was in San Antonio, no matter what that crowd was going to pop. But there's a difference between a super kick and Sweet Chin music to me. Like, they're not just in the difference it's thrown, but the setup for it. Like, you see Shawn set up for
I know,
you.
but like,
Shawn,
he didn't do his patented pumps.
Well,
what I mean?
that's because you had the table.
If he cooked the audience with the stomp, maybe got KO a little bit more.
The
dizzy,
segment didn't need. The
then it
segment
would've been-
segment didn't need it, and it was more of
could've.
like, if he hadn't gone for the package pile driver, and you just have that moment where like maybe Cody and KO are fighting, and KO turns around, and then we saw it being pumped up. That's one thing, but the segment how it needed to end, it ended better on that note. I just felt like somebody should have gone through the table as well because it was in the ring.
That would have been awesome.
You have a
Just
table.
Just because there's a table doesn't mean someone has to go through it.
Yes, it does, especially during a contract signing. But yeah, like, I'm definitely looking forward to that match at the Rumble.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be a fun ladder match, which now
I didn't
Mrs.
realize
Danger
Heel Mark was the
Ginger,
keeper of KO.
as we talked about before the show, who had a question for me last night. What if both men each were to pull down one of the belts fighting at the top of the ladder and come down? What happens? Just get your thoughts. How would the match continue? Do they hang the belts back up and
Nice. Good performance there, B.
yeah, we really needed that one. But yeah, so
It
like,
snuck out.
so like, how would that be dealt with? How do you?
I think it would be first to possess both.
Yeah.
So then both men fight, and then the first person to
Strap
act.
them around their waist, and then fight, and then the other one you have to rip the belt off the other person, and that's how you win.
Turns into flag football almost. It just would make for an interesting situation in this, to where it's almost that they've showed both men as equal, right?
Yeah.
Like, in their own way. It's just, here's my other thing. How many times are we going to see Kevin Owens get a WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble?
Well, he has a belt to defend,
He's not the champion. He's some mark with a replica title, all right?
But it's a real title.
Yeah, so is mine.
But yours wasn't actively used in the WWE.
Neither was that title.
Yeah, it was. That was the one that they had back in, like, they
No.
used that one.
No, that is a new version. It is the Winged Eagle Championship, but it's not the original Winged Eagle Championship from
Where's
the
the original
WWF.
Winged Evil?
It became the Hardcore Championship.
Dude, I missed the Hardcore Championship. I wish they would bring back the Hardcore Championship.
No, that was the
That stuff
European.
was fun.
No, the Hardcore Championship was the Winged title belt.
Was it? Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so.
The European Championship was still there.
I just remember Al Snow having it at one
Oh
point.
yeah, you're right.
My favorite Hardcore Championship memory is anything with Crash Holly.
Dude,
I'm
Crash
thinking of when
sold
Hacksaw
that
found the
title.
WCW European Championship in the
Mm.
trash. And that
TV
became the
title.
hardcore
That was
belt.
the television
Or-
title.
I was wrong anyway. Great.
Oh. What would he do? He'd package pile drive you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Installation.
Miss Danger Ginger agreed. Like
Like it
they
creates
could go this route.
like what happens? Do we just see both men each holding one strap and start having a tug of war? Do we Velcro this? Do we Velcro them back together? You
You'll
know,
probably have like Nick Aldis, or you'll have Adam Pearce come out and be like, "All right, everyone. So this is what's going to happen. All right, so for the next 5 minutes, we're going to and repeat."
oh man.
I mean, he's obsessed with his glasses.
But yeah, but we will talk more about later who we think will win that match at the Royal Rumble.
All right,
So yeah, we'll get to our Rumble predictions.
Yes, and
I'm not sure who's going to win. I can't decide.
yeah, as I said before the show, and I've said it a couple of times, the men's Rumble this year is so up in the air of who, because you can make a story that would completely make sense on the road to WrestleMania with so many of the guys.
Oh my God, yeah.
No,
Especially some of the people that aren't even in it right now.
Yeah. I agree. I think with the overall consensus here that I would think it would be whoever with both belts down who would be the first to possess both championships. Because then at that point, that's the point of it. The winner has to have both championships. So
Wasn't
both
that-
are
So remember back when they did the tag team titles? What was that, Mania?
yeah, they had to split to create the World Championship Tag Team Championships and the WWE Tag Team
And
Championship.
didn't you have to possess both in order to be the winner? Like the tag teams had to grab the same belt at the same time, or was it like one?
Well, no,
person?
I don't think we ever got that point. I think we got one person from one team and one person from the other team. I don't
Okay.
no, because A-Town Down Under might have gone up together to get the second strap. But I think the Miz or R-Truth pulled down the
I
one
think
of them
they're
by
truthful,
themselves.
yeah. Okay.
And then
Yeah,
they
they
were
probably
just out of the
supported
match.
them.
Yeah, so we didn't run into, and that was a really weird situation with the way they worded it and put the match together. You could tell that's what was going to happen. So it was the idea, all right, who's going to come down with what belts first?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so after our big contract signing, we get Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman.
Dude.
Woo! We want to talk about hard hitting now.
You want to talk about a great match? I thought it was a well-made team up right there, or match. Like, blew me away.
And the fact that this match ended in a disqualification.
Yeah, and then Fatu went full Bronson Reed.
Yo, like, yeah, how many people are going to kill Braun Strowman?
Exactly.
Like,
Bronson Reed tweeted out, "Looks familiar. I'm all for it."
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even to a point, and I bring this up. It's like back in the day with the Big Show. They would heat him up for this moment to just fall where you're like, you're big for nothing. Like, how many hip attacks did he sit there and take before becoming a bloody mess? Like,
Dude,
it was
Like, yeah, well,
I'm
actually,
wondering, did he did they cut? You know, or was that like real? You know, did he?
I think that was hard way.
Gotcha.
But
'Cause I
I could just see the
they might start doing that again. You know, doing a little fake cuts or whatever, a little
not,
not fake cuts, but
I think
Yeah,
it would
that's cool.
depend on the person as well. But as far as I know, WWE's generally against blading. So if you're
that's the word I
cut,
was looking for.
if you're
and
cut,
it was network.
yeah. So that I
Okay.
have a feeling that was either the hard way or just looked really good for what it was.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
I'm watching last year's Mania with them taking down the belts, and both R-Truth and Austin Theory, they grabbed their respective ones. The belts though were on like a coat hanger, so
Yes.
he didn't take off each individual belt. They took off the coat hanger. So I'm wondering if maybe the winner has to remove the coat hanger that has both the belts on it.
So I
as opposed
said
to grabbing both of them.
I said that to Mrs. Danger Ginger last night. I brought that up when
Okay.
they unified the WWE Championship and the original World Heavyweight Championship on the run that brought Daniel Bryan to WrestleMania 30 and all that stuff when Randy Orton won it. All he had to do was unhook the thing. He never actually had to physically unstrap. But even then, what's to say that in a situation where both men are fighting, what's going to be faster, unstrapping the championships now or being able to reach up and have that like Money in the Bank, unhooking the whole thing moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
guess
think
it
it's
depends on what the rules for the match wind up laying out to be. You know, I don't know. Do they like even list that kind of stuff anymore? Like
a ladder
like,
match is just whoever pulls down the championship or whatever is hanging
True.
above said ring, unless it's something to where a little changed up beforehand. Like in my mind, you could do, and they used to do them. You could do TLC matches and not have anything necessarily above the ring, where
It
it's
is
just the
not
weapons are tables, ladders, and chairs. They did it with the paper when they did the TLC pay-per-views back in the day. I mean, it makes sense for the situation if you don't want to have to do spots with guys having to constantly be on top of the ladder, and you're reducing the chance to injury to maybe one or two big ladder spots in the match.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall impression of Jacob Fatu right now after this whole thing.
He's a beast.
Prefer him solo.
Sorry.
I prefer him solo from solo.
Same, yeah. Like also like
Did you
he's
hear
got a
her
future,
in the
man.
background when I asked that? She was like,
He's a
was.
beast.
She's like, he's a beast. And like, she forgot for a moment. I thought, see, this is what happens when you do live broadcasting, people.
The wife forgets.
I'm getting there, heel Mark. I'm getting there.
We're trying to work them in. But yeah, Jacob Fatu.
Dude, Fatu, like I said, I prefer him on his own. With him and who's that? Tamatanga.
Yes.
Tamatanga's cracking me up. His shit's great. They're both finding their voices now. You know what I mean? Like Fatu's
Yeah.
really shining. The promo he cut last night was vicious, and it was like he was on point. He didn't mess up any words. He didn't fumble anything. He was delivered.
Jacob
He was passionate.
Fatu, I'm not going to say has been underutilized because I don't think he has it, given the bloodline story of what was
Yeah.
needed. But if you know his history from the indies and other stuff he's done in the past, you're just sitting there waiting for this moment to happen. You know, and
like
we
when
got
he
the
came in.
teases. How many teases have we gotten over the past 4 months of him just standing toe to toe with somebody like
Yeah.
Braun Breaker? I didn't know I wanted Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu until I saw them standing right in front of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Put
Great
Jacob
comment right there.
Fatu against any other monster, honestly. I want to see it all.
But I do think that
But who else is there?
so
Who else is
you
like
have
a
Solo
monster?
at the moment, and I think Jacob Fatu and Solo at WrestleMania would be a good match. Because-
Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, because you gotta look at it now. We got the Royal Rumble coming. Most likely, both these men are going to be in the Rumble, right? We're going to get an interaction between them. Does Solo no longer is going to fall? If anything I've learned, Tonga and Solo are doing their own thing now. After Solo walked away last
Well, like,
week
so
on
what's going on with
SmackDown.
like the Olaf Fala and Roman now being the head of the bloodline? Like,
Well, Roman's supposed to be
should they be?
Roman's supposed to be returning tomorrow night, I believe,
Oh,
because
really?
it's something to do with the WWE 2K thing. I think he's going to be the cover athlete for it, and the
Of course.
storylines. There's rumors of the storyline, like it's going to be kind of open world, and it's going to be the island of relevancy going over probably like Samoan stuff.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, I just love that they take these terms. They're like, hey, well, Paul Heyman always referenced the island of relevancy. Let's create the island of relevancy. You know,
Well,
but
so will this be like the first WWE game that's created under Levesque?
no, last year was
2024
also,
was. 'Cause I
yeah.
don't know when Vince was kind of like pushed out from the PLE, from the the storyline aspect of everything.
He kind of inserted himself back in that one WrestleMania 2 years ago, but as
Okay.
quick as all that happened and the sale happened and then all that information came out, WWE has been much more better off. And you could see the little bit of time he had in charge, the product started to go backwards. And everything happened at the right time to get him out the door permanently.
Gotcha.
But yeah, do you think we see Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman go at it again at some point? Like a rematch?
Probably. Because he's really, I mean, right now, that's really the only big beast in the industry is Braun Strowman. There's no real huge, big, like intimidating
Bronson
like,
Reed.
wrestler that. Well, yeah, but he's out, right? We lost him this year.
Omos.
Obafemi.
Almost isn't he? Well, Obafemi's a freaking beast. I haven't watched much of NXT, but I did tune in one time and saw him on there, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, why isn't this dude up in the ranks?" You know what I mean? Like, he's a beast.
He's only been wrestling for 2 years, and all of it's been in NXT. So his in ring is there. He just has to, and his promo game is getting there. I would love to see him in the Rumble this year.
I had mentioned Omos because it was just announced that he left the Japanese promotion and relinquished his championship there. So he might be appearing in the Rumble this year.
Or at least on his way back for something.
Right.
Boy, yeah. I don't think Jacob Fatu and Braun, we've seen the last of it. I think we get at least one more match. I think that Jacob Fatu's story is now going to lead towards Solo because they kind of started dropping them hints constantly, like Solo telling them, hey, if Roman ever gets this back and he becomes head of the table again, we have no choice but to acknowledge him.
Yeah.
House of Clark.
I'd like to see freaking Fatu versus Gunther.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. There's so many matches. Like, I would love to see Fatu and Cena.
Ooh.
On the retirement tour. Hey, that could be one of
Cena's.
Cena's.
Like a SmackDown, yeah.
No, not even that. That's a PLE match, and it's one of John's last. And hold on, hear me out, because I have speculated on this. I don't think this WrestleMania will be John Cena's last WrestleMania. I think it would be
this year.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out real quick.
I'm hearing you.
So we get toward War Games, right? You have somebody injure John Cena. Who better than Jacob Fatu? And then you bring Cena back for that following WrestleMania. Like, hey, I didn't get to end it on my terms. This WrestleMania, win or lose, I am gone. And maybe that matches it with a Jacob Fatu. Maybe it's with a heel Cody Rhodes. Maybe it's, I'm just saying, like, it's something because why would you do one of your era's biggest stars and not have them finish their career at the biggest show of them all?
Yeah. I don't know. If anything, I would love to see Drew pick up a title and then defend that with like Cena for his farewell. Because, dude, Drew is underrated, I think.
I think Drew, like, got really good and bad break when he won the title at COVID WrestleMania. You know, he deserved he won the Rumble in front of fans. And then not long later, 8 weeks later, not even, the world shut down. You know, he didn't get to have that WrestleMania moment in front of the fans that he should have had. You know,
Like I'm hoping he gets the title and that he keeps it. He doesn't lose it again. Somebody cashes it money bank on him again.
WWE's in that spot where they have so many stars again that it's like we could turn around and be like, hey, Drew McIntyre could use that title. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing some people. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing Rollins back with the championship. Oh, hey, we have CM Punk who could hold that championship. Like,
I definitely think by the end of the year, though, Logan Paul will definitely be holding one of them because even though he's, annoying in the real world, he's a great heel. And he can build up a lot of heat and a lot of animosity for both the audience and the locker room because he is the newbie, but he proved himself, though, I think, with, his that 360 drone shot that he pitched to Triple H.
Oh, or the elbow drop viral spot from what was it? One of the shows in Saudi, Crown Jewel, where he hits the table spot to the elbow to the announce table to Roman. So, Mike, here's my thing with Logan Paul. He plays his role perfectly. And not just that, as you see a lot of these stars that come in and they try to do it, but they don't really take the time to learn it. That's the difference between Logan Paul and also Bad Bunny's in that same category as guys who came in.
Apparently
and
he's coming back or something.
Yeah, like Bunny. Guys who you see.
He wants a heel run.
See, I wasn't watching when he was on, so I have no idea. I know him as a musician. I don't know what songs are his, but
the other person I put in that category, even though he hasn't really wrestled since COVID, and it was against Adam Cole in NXT the last time he did, was Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee in NXT Black and Gold put on a really good match, and you could see that he put in the time to learn the crap. Like guys who take the time to actually learn what to do, why you do it, it catches the fans see the work, and that gets like Logan Paul. He gets more and more heat every time because he understands what he's doing, and so do the fans.
Because he's a troll. That's all he is in life and in entertainment. He's a troll, and he gets paid money to be a troll.
And he does it well.
Yeah, that's why. Like I said, I think Hunter's definitely going to put a belt on him this year, like a major, like either Cody's or Gunther's.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably the Intercontinental. Nah, he's not. You do not put the World Championship on Logan Paul. No, he had the United States Championship.
He's probably going to have Logan Paul dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania. That's probably what's going to happen, and then we're all going to
no.
Fuck you.
I don't know. That's heel.
It is heel, but then
but I mean, in the situation,
Gunther's kind of not. Gunther's soft right now. Gunther's gotten real soft on a lot of his stuff. His segments on Jay were brutal and great, but like besides that, his stuff's just kind of been like mediocre. I feel like if you gave it to Paul, he's going to run that heel up. You know what I mean? He's going to bring
Gunther's too laid back of a heel.
Yeah, he's definitely Gunther's kind of taken back since he's had this new reign now. He's really kind of taken, I feel like, a little bit more of a backseat. His promos are still phenomenal. I love how he just destroys whoever he's got on the mic. But
I mean, bringing up Gunther though. Him and Jay's World Championship match, great match. Like I thought it was a great match. It fit to be the main event. It was something but it's just that thing where you knew Jay wasn't going to win.
Yeah, and that's with most of these matches. I'm sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
With most of these matches, you knew who was going to win. Like the average fan knew who was going to win. It was all the people watching on network just randomly on a Saturday night that had no idea.
It wasn't going to be a title change. Like no title changes.
Yeah, no titles were going to change hands.
If any title I thought would change hands, it would be the Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
that would have been the one I thought could. Yeah, but I'm just saying, when I was looking at it, I'm like, that's the one match.
Did you see how pissed off Jesse Ventura got?
Oh, man.
He was like, that was a 3 count, and that ref saw that flag up there after.
I love
He's absolutely right.
I
Michael Cole was just like,
Him
Oh!
and Pat McAfee going back and forth
I was like,
was
sure, whatever,
absolutely
fine.
awesome. Give me more of that.
You can
I
see Jessica
love
was
that.
pissed.
Absolutely loved it.
But back to the Gunther match. Sorry, I just remembered that, and
Yeah,
that was amazing.
like I feel like for the spot they were in, Jay was a good person to pick to have the match with Gunther in this middle ground, because you don't want to put somebody too big into that situation that you're saving maybe to win the Rumble and challenge him, or to challenge him for WrestleMania. So, Jay is a main eventer. Like, his spot isn't going to be lost any. It's just going to be building up momentum. That momentum right now is going to be for some type of match at WrestleMania. If it's not, maybe we see Solo and the Usos reunite. But the issue would be who would be the third person to be with Jacob and Tonga.
Well, isn't there talks about isn't there like another brother or cousin that's a big person in the circuit who's like a monster, like who's apparently going to be coming into, I saw, because like Google will always show me like wrestling articles, so I'm clicking on them left and right. And also I follow the WWE on Reddit, and that community is very well informed about everything.
Yeah.
There's Hikuleo, Zilla, and you're forgetting about Tongaloa.
Zilla, I think that was the name that I had heard.
Yeah, Zilla, he's going to get there. He just had a couple weeks ago the big thing with Booker T and his promotion. Booker T's really trying to help him. It's just getting WWE behind him, like somebody had to convince them to do for Jacob. They're kind of in that same boat.
Hikuleo's been signed, hasn't debuted yet.
Yeah, he's in the NXT system.
Tongaloa, don't forget about him.
Yeah,
Tonga.
That's right. He's been out for a while now.
Yeah, he got injured in War Games. He's out.
Yeah,
for
he'll be
a while.
back soon.
Yeah.
Is he going to be out for a while?
He had a broken ankle. Oh no! Wait a minute. That was Bronson. No, he broke. His might have been a shoulder. His was a shoulder injury from War Games.
So yeah,
because he was in
2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Bronson Reed shattered his ankle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he might be not Rumble, but he might be back in the next month.
He could be back in time, maybe for a WrestleMania somehow, but they would figure that out somehow to swing something, or they would just make it a tag team match somehow, or go with singles bouts. Because I don't know if we see the Usos necessarily team up at WrestleMania. I'd rather see Jay stay solo at this point, just with the occasional team up. Because you start regularly teaming the Usos back up together, that's what we're going to want. Because we know how good they are together.
All right, 41-23 in the fourth.
Yeah.
How many minutes are left?
12-24.
12 and a half.
Okay.
I'm confident. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been quiet. I have the Eagles game on here, and I wouldn't normally, but they could be going to the Super Bowl, so I kind of have to have this on.
Totally get it, because you know what? That dictates your entire week's worth of business in terms of who's buying what and what's selling.
Yep. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
True.
And then a couple days after, maybe.
Yeah.
So I do believe both you guys said earlier that neither one of y'all really caught much of AEW this week.
Well, before we get off the Gunther Uso, I just want to point out one thing. So I thought it was, a decent match. We all knew Gunther was going to win.
Yes.
There was one moment though where Jay was going for like his second spear right before Gunther win. That like he charged at him, but then he went like his head right into his legs. Like he didn't even attempt to go for the torso. It was just like the sloppiest. Like, all right, I'm just gonna walk right into your legs so you can powerbomb me twice and win.
He just like rammed him.
Yeah. He was just like, So I thought it was an interesting flub up.
I mean, sometimes it's just doing what to do to also be set up for that spot.
Yeah, but you could see like it was blatant though. You know what I mean? It wasn't like there was no force to it. It was just like he kind of like chugged a little bit and then just accepted his fate. But yeah, no, it was a good match though.
Yeah, it was a fun match.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish I hope that the next one we do get a title change.
Yeah.
Because the shows, not that they're being presented as throwaways, that's how they'll start being perceived. Because a lot of the stuff so far has been predictable, as in we know where the shows are going, we know what's going to happen.
Well, somebody on Reddit, they were saying, they're like, guess what, everyone? The commercials are the main event. I laughed so hard.
Oh, that's
They're
great.
not wrong, man. There was commercial breaks every like 3 minutes, and it was atrocious.
Yeah, it was rough.
So much of the momentum of the show. Because it was like, oh, here we go. Now we got Fatu and Braun, and they're in the ring. And all right, Fatu's getting ready to do a rope dive. That means they're going to go cut to a commercial. Sure enough.
I mean, I had the privilege, I got to start the show late. So I rewound. I was actually able to rewind it on Peacock, which I was surprised, and started back from the beginning. So I got to fast forward through a lot of that stuff of commercials.
Yeah, no, I was watching it live and local. But yeah, stupid commercials. That's right, Pens only.
But yeah, like they're doing a good job with this. They're building up the hypes for these shows good. Now it's just with the timing of the shows. We had what was it, right before War Games before?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then now we're doing it a week, but yeah, the week before the Rumble. We can't expect some major shift in the status quo right now.
Especially in the Rumble, because the Rumble's such a foundation for what Mania looks like. And Mania is the top show of the year, you know? So
Yeah,
it's
100%.
interesting, like you said, that they would do it. So they would piggyback so close.
And it could have been a timing issue of when they would be available to be on the network, especially given all the sports happening right now. College football, or not college football, college basketball, the NFL playoffs, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
You're trying to fit it all in there to make sure your audience is going to be there to watch it. But yeah, I just real quick wanted to see, did you guys catch any AEW at all?
I did catch most of Dynamite.
Boy, Dynamite was a darn snore.
Yeah.
It really was.
I don't remember much of it.
I mean, outside of the Hurt Syndicate winning the tag titles, which congratulations to MVP, or not MVP. Well, I guess all three of those guys, you know, because they came in, got gold, right?
But more
Shelton,
specifically, Lashley and
Bobby.
Shelton Benjamin.
You know, I don't mind the whole Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay thing. It's kind of cool going to get to see them team up, but why did Kenny apologize to Will for Will trying to stab him in the head with a screwdriver?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like, that makes zero sense. Look, he's looking at his phone. He puts his, what?
Dude, so I tuned into something. Yeah, I think it's AEW. The other week or the other day, a YouTube short popped up of Ricochet, and like, what's this whole thing with Ricochet and the scissors?
Oh, all right. So this goes with Swerve and everything. Like, that just really wasn't heavily featured this week like it has been in the past couple weeks. But that is another highlight of AEW currently, is that feud, and more because of Swerve than Ricochet. But okay. Ricochet's really trying to develop into a heel now. And
I can tell, but like, I'm gonna cut you with these little baby scissors, the kinds that I use to trim my beard.
But yeah, like, AEW, at least Wednesday night for me, was a really, really tough watch. Like, I don't know what is going on over there. Like, last week, you start this whole Jarrett and MJF thing. And then you have Jarrett come out like, oh, I'm not worried about you right now, kid. I'm going to go focus on the title. And now Jarrett has a match with Claudio. If he wins, he gets a championship match. And, you know, MJF cuts his own promo saying, oh, yeah, I picked you for the whole thing because I know I could beat you and you were easily manipulated. Like, what? Like, it just does. I don't mind the pairing of the two. it just isn't making sense. Just like the whole idea of a Jeff Jarrett announced retirement run. Like, this is the third one in AEW in as many years, with one being done concurrently in the WWE as well.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you got to look at the wrestling landscape and be like, all right, we've done this. They're doing that. Maybe we can just sit there and be like, have Jarrett hint at it and not announce it. It's been a really big pet peeve of mine recently.
AEW's like, all right, guys, WWE's doing John Cena's retirement tour. You know who everybody wants to come and pack our theaters to see? Double J Jeff Jarrett. Let's announce his retirement tour, and the people will just come flushing in.
Yeah. You're not getting my money for that one. I've never been a Jarrett fan.
The same. I appreciated him in the 90s, back when like WWF In Your House, all those matches, those pay-per-views and shit. He was awesome, smashing guitars on everyone. Like, he was fun. I was always rooting against him because I don't like country music, so I was like, screw you, Jeff. But I loved his personality at the time because he worked well. He was a heel, you know what I mean? And he was a good heel.
I'll never say he didn't do his job good. That's one thing I'll never say about Jeff Jarrett.
I like him.
I was never I wasn't a Jeff Jarrett fan in the early 90s. I wasn't a Jeff Jarrett fan in the Attitude Era. I wasn't a Jeff Jarrett fan when he had to go start his own promotion to keep becoming world champion. I'm not a Jeff Jarrett fan now. I wasn't a Jeff Jarrett fan when he tagged
What promotion did he start?
TNA.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett
And
started
don't forget
TNA.
about Global Force.
Yeah. After he lost TNA, he had to go start another wrestling company that eventually got bought by TNA anyway.
Global Force was pretty. They had a nice roster.
Yeah. But no, I always saw him as the country ripoff of Jeff Jarrett. Like, he just stole Ric Flair. He just stole Ric Flair's
I was like,
mannerism.
how's he gonna be ripping himself? I got so confused, man. Yeah.
But no. Yeah, I my brain stopped for a moment. It's like, you do realize what you said, right? But yeah, like, it's bad because some notable things happened on AEW. Like, Daniels came out and essentially announced his retirement to the world. It was like, hey, I'm done. I'm happy now. You know, like, that's a pretty big deal that got no time to actually have shine on it.
Yeah.
You know.
He wanted to get out.
And this whole Death Riders thing is just becoming ridiculous.
Oh yeah, with Moxley.
There's something supposed to air on YouTube before Dynamite with Renee interviewing him.
Okay.
And they showed a clip of it on Collision, and it's kind of alluding to we might actually finally get the why that I've been waiting for. Like, why are you actually doing this? And not because everybody but you's having fun.
Yeah.
You know, my major thing out of AEW this week. Well, another thing real quick too. The House of Black has been repackaged into the Hounds of Hell, which is Buddy Murphy, Brody King, and Julia Hart. They are
basically the House of Black without Malachi.
Yeah. Which, hey, is it possible that he could be at the Rumble?
He's
or is he still
contractually obligated until a week or two after? But then I'm hearing conflicting reports. I've heard some things saying that his contract doesn't end for a couple of weeks, and I'm hearing some people say that he's good to go now. So we'll see. He's been teasing it.
I've heard the first thing that you said be where it's his contract's up right after the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But yeah, my big thing coming from AEW this week, which has been a highlight of mine just watching AEW period, has been Toni Storm. And the fact that finally, something I speculated when she returned, a couple months ago now? Late last year she returned, right? Something like that. And she came back doing this whole amnesia thing. Like, she doesn't remember the last 3 years of being champion, losing the title to Mariah May and stuff like that. And that we get to reveal that as I speculated from the beginning, that this was timeless Tony Storm playing rocker Tony Storm, which I absolutely love. I like Tony Storm is a highlight in that company who's getting the spotlight she rightfully. I mean, that the top of that women's division as well as a whole. Like even Mariah May, less Mercedes, but
And I'll give it to AEW. Like they haven't really traditionally done booking the women's division well, but they've really nailed it with her.
I think a lot of it's her, and this is a lot of stuff in her head.
True.
Because it's branching out in a different way of being creative, right? Like this whole gimmick from the start was something different, and it made it stick out, and then she made it work. I can see there's somebody back there with input being in her ear as well, helping her. But I think a lot of this is also her. Just like with Harley Cameron, another highlight in that female division who's eventually going to be a big star. You see it, like Harley Cameron, she's figuring it out. She looks better in the ring every time. She has all her backstage stuff down to a T right now of what's fitting her character. Like, Tony Storm is the major highlight of AEW right now. There's nothing.
He's like the poster child.
She.
I don't watch AEW.
No, well, Tony Storm was in the WWE.
She was in NXT.
No, she was on the main roster.
Was she?
Was she?
Yeah, she feuded with Charlotte. That was the last thing she did, and they just. But yeah, that's how unmemorable Tony Storm before time was.
Well, not just that.
Was.
Usually, when Charlotte's on, that's when I get up and make a sandwich or something.
Yeah, no, but that whole thing was just horribly booked. Like they made her look very weak in the situation.
She's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to her match with Mariah May at Grand Slam. That will be from Australia. Like, I think Tony Storm gets back to championship. And this whole story with her has spanned across more than one promotion before she came back as rocker Tony Storm. Even to the point that on a radio show, Timeless Tony Storm announced her retirement.
Right.
Like...
like a week later, she's back.
But not as time. That was when rocker Tony Storm returned.
Right.
Timeless retired. Like, I just enjoyed that whole promo on Collision as a whole with the reveal because she also took a beating before that. Like, Mariah May, before she just started beating her with the belt like it was like a regular leather strap. And then as Mariah May leaves, when Tony Storm gets up and she's like, you know what they say the hardest role to play of all is yourself. And then she reveals that she's been Timeless Tony Storm playing rocker Tony Storm. Like, how is it that AEW gets all these little increments of good
stories? And then she said she's going to rip her tits off.
Yeah. Those are pretty much her exact words. Yeah.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Look at clips on YouTube. AEW's YouTube.
But yeah, like, I did Penta and Pete Dunne this week on Raw.
Well, so since we're on the AEW thing, I did want to bring up something because I didn't watch this week. However, I told you before, Google always recommends me articles. And today I saw a very interesting article. And I'm curious if either of you guys have seen this. That AEW filed for a trademark for a name for a wrestler that may be coming to AEW. Have you heard anything about this?
No.
Paul White, the Big Show, might be coming to AEW.
He's in AEW.
All right. Well, if you're a fan of the Water Boy, they just trademarked Captain Insano.
So that's been something that's been rumored and speculated about for a while now, because he brought back the role for something. Adam Sandler, he brought the role back, and it's rumored that he could be bringing back the role in another way.
Well, they're coming out with a Waterboy too. Like he's doing sequels to all of his movies. He's got like this big ass Netflix deal, so he's just sequeling everything.
I can't wait for Happy Gilmore too, personally.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to watch it because I love Christopher McDonald, who played Shooter McGavin.
What have you thought about this whole Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, KO, Sami, like, you know, KO and Sami Zayn, that like KO's trying to recruit anybody and everybody to his team.
Yeah.
Like to
so
the
I'm
point
curious to see like what kind of, you know, faction forms from all this drama and all this like chaos, because there's a lot of like there's wrestlers that I could see kind of creating like a new Shield, essentially, you know what I mean? Like of having like a Seth with Sammy, with who would be the third team up with them? Maybe Randy when he comes back. Drew.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking like for something like that, I'm thinking something along the lines like KO, Rollins, and McIntyre. Like we've seen interactions between them all. Drew McIntyre apparently called in some type of favor with The Rock.
Did he?
Yeah, we saw there was a video thing, and Drew even made reference to that The Rock's is working on something for him.
Oh, okay.
Like, because right now they all have the common enemy being Roman Reigns.
Yeah. And
like
Roman,
it's crazy to think about 2 years ago, all these guys, I mean, outside of Seth's just like, I'm done with Roman. Like, I really don't want nothing to do with it. And he made that obvious with War Games.
Yeah.
But, you know, if Seth's going to take a more serious turn now, especially after losing the Punk, which I hope he does, and he gets rid of some of these more Joker-esque style character.
Yeah.
And maybe become a little bit more serious again. Not that I don't enjoy the character, I do, but it hasn't gotten him anywhere since he started doing it.
Yeah, because he's kind of like you just said, he's a jester. You know, he's the court jester. He comes out, he does his little dances and all of his little, you know, antics. But he's got heat, man. He's got fire in him. And like the promos he cuts with Punk, man, those were so good. Like, there was so much passion in there.
And let's be honest, right now, anybody that works with CM Punk, the best is getting brought out of him. We saw it with Drew, and we've seen it with Seth.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
like there's something now to this isn't the same Punk that was in AEW. This isn't the same Punk that was in WWE 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
well, then you know what? I'll say it now. I think that Punk might be the one walking out of Rumble for Mania. I know he's in it, and I know he's pushing. He's a strong fighter. He's been proving himself.
But my issue becomes is then are we waiting to find out what the favor with Heyman is? Because we still have that floating around. Because the only thing CM Punk has not done in his career is win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania.
But then it's like, why would you have this favor if your goal is to win? Like, why would it go into the Rumble? Why wouldn't you just cash in your favor?
Because Paul Heyman might have the idea to suggest it, but he might not have the pull to get Punk into that spot. As to where, let's say, on night one of WrestleMania, CM Punk versus Roman, and what would that favor be? To main event the show, which Paul Heyman would have that pull to get them the main event and not necessarily the championship match.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like if they had a match, it would already be. If it was going to be that CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, it would be a main event match alone. Like there wouldn't have to be any strings pulled.
Oh,
People
yeah.
want to see that alone.
But then there's something to say, and I stand by this: that at least at WrestleMania and the bigger shows, one of your world championships, if not both, should be the main events.
I'd like to see Drew versus KO as a WrestleMania main event. I feel like that'd be pretty brutal.
But
and in
Oh,
the
yeah.
last man standing match.
I don't see that because I see them because now you're heel versus who's going to be the baby face. You've geared both these guys to be straight heels.
But remember, they don't always put baby face with a heel. There's times where they have heels.
Oh
versus
no,
heels, but
I
someone's
make
always
that.
got a bigger wang than
I
the
make-
other one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in that situation,
And heels are
that
hungry for
crowd.
fighting,
Yeah.
so
So if you're going to do two heels that the fans are 100% booing, the chances are they'll both get booed coming out, and then that crowd could be dead for that match.
the crowd will go probably more leaning towards McIntyre, depending on where KO's position will be.
Nah, they would. I think they would lean more toward KO.
You think?
Yeah.
In this
Especially
hypothetical,
if
there's
he's
time
thrown
for
to a
like.
boy.
Remember, this isn't happening now. In this hypothetical, there'd be time for them to get to that healer face, disposition.
But
Yeah.
with the story being told, what reason would Drew have to be crapping all over everything? And then what? Just show up? Oh, I'm sorry. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense for either guy at this point. And storytelling.
That's what I'm saying. This is a hypothetical. This isn't for
No,
this
no,
year.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is just
that-
like in general.
even in hypothetical, like as a match on WWE.
And even so, there's still
2K,
time. There would be,
Well, I mean,
there would
I
be
just-
time to get them where you
You're
need them.
absolutely right. You know what? Now that I think about it, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't make sense to have Drew and KO fighting each other at WrestleMania simply because they're both anti-bloodline right now, and they're both attacking people who affiliate
Yeah,
with Roman.
and storyline
That is a good
wise
point.
and character wise, it doesn't make
Storyline,
sense
yeah.
because
sense.
literally you would have to have one of them come out in a storyline perspective where all year for the past year, Drew McIntyre has been geared up as a dominant heel in everything that he's been doing.
Or you
See,
have
see,
KO.
that's-
You have
You know,
coming out,
KO,
Roman Reigns and acknowledge him.
yeah, no, yeah, and then KO just turned heel. He's having this feud with Cody, where we got this whole mean streak coming out. We've seen these guys starting to interact with each other just from a storytelling perspective, even hypothetically. You would have to have one of them come out and be like, yeah, I was being a real D-bag. And they would have to humble themselves in front of the fans and lose any of that mean streak that they've built.
So if you're presenting a way how they could do it, how are you to say that they would?
You're assassinating the character. You would
Not
ruin
necessarily.
Drew McIntyre would completely lose credibility having a mean streak.
They could find a way.
Like it wouldn't make
If that's
sense.
what they wanted to do, they could find a way.
I mean, yeah, if they would find a way. Doesn't mean it would make sense. Was Vince booking this? That's a Vince McMahon move. Hey, I'm just going to flip the switch and we're going to forget everything for the past
Well, I feel
18
like
months.
Drew's kind of had a heel and a face kind of like career race last year. Like people have rooted for him, and then he's done his even the other day. Yeah, people are booing him, but they're also cheering for him. They're still counting down the Claymore. You know what I mean? Like
because we're fans are programmed to do that.
because everybody loves Drew.
Yeah, and everybody loved acknowledging Roman for the past 4 years, but he was still a heel. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
MJF, huge heel. We know we should boo him. He does dastardly things, but he's so good at what he does. So it's the fans acknowledging how good he is. But when you're coming to flip that switch and shift the character, there has to be a reason why he's doing it, or else the fans are going to rebel against it. And we've seen what happens when the fans rebel against
What
something.
do you think in terms of WrestleMania main event? Who do you see in those top two positions of the main event? Who do you think carries the best weight for this going into 2025? Or like.
Well, if
going
I'm
into the
looking
season?
at the night 2 main event, it's Cody
Yeah.
versus whoever. That's automatic. I don't unless you're going to have some type of Hall of Famer return, or you're going to have a match that's something going to be Hogan Rock-esque as a fan reaction.
So you think Cody's going to win Rumble?
No, Cody will be in the main event a night 2. And to win the Rumble,
But no, I'm saying, so you think he's going to beat KO then?
yeah, I think Cody's going into WrestleMania as the WWE.
Okay,
champion.
that's what I was just asking you.
Yeah, that 100%. Like
Okay.
KO, if they were to pull that trigger, God, would that be a huge trigger? The
I love
whole
it. I love it so much.
because now you're opening up that door, and I hope this is one thing I do hope with the booking and the layout of Royal Rumble that ladder match happens before the men's Rumble match.
That would
Because
be
if the men's Rumble match happens first,
wow.
we might get hinted into who's going to win that match.
Yeah.
Because if it's let's just say, for
True.
example, it's Roman Reigns or it's CM Punk that
Yeah.
wins that match. I could see CM Punk going after Cody because that would guarantee him the main event.
Without
You
a
could
But if
doubt.
it's Sammy,
Sammy's going after Gunther if Sammy were to win.
Yeah. Again, here we are. Third or fourth title attempts now, Sammy with Gunther. Won the one time. Lost like the 8.
Hey, maybe he wins. Hey, maybe Sammy wins the Rumble, faces Gunther at WrestleMania, and pins Gunther with a Blue Thunder Bomb.
I don't
You
want
know?
to. I'm not a Sammy guy.
I love Sammy. But Sammy is one of those people where he's at his best. Before with Bloodline stuff, he was always at his best with KO. Heel, face, teaming, or against each other. Like those two career paths, their career paths will always be tied up with each other one way or the other. Even to the point that this past week, we had KO come out to Sammy, like, hey, we're still best friends, right? You're going to have my back, right? Because now we also have that in the
was great.
yes.
That segment was amazing.
Like there's so much playing into that character right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's something bigger down the line for KO, and it's not necessarily the WWE Championship at the moment. He can get his hands on that title after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or on the World Championship. Like, I think KO deserves it. Don't get me wrong. It's just if I'm looking at what's going to be best for business right now, it's Cody being in that top spot. He's going to get to have the championship for a year, and maybe he drops it to the next person at WrestleMania.
Which is hopefully not Roman Reigns again.
so interesting question here. Will Roman Reigns return to a regular basis in 2025? I don't think so.
No, Roman Reigns is a special attraction, a lot like Brock Lesnar, a lot like a Logan Paul or something like that, because when he does come on screen now, it does pop the ratings. Roman Reigns does not always need to be present. You know, you could have Paul Heyman there to speak for him. Just like Roman Reigns himself didn't declare for the Royal Rumble. Paul Heyman came out and was authorized to say, oh, your tribal chief has declared for the Royal Rumble.
But also, like, who's to say, like, that Joe's health is, 100%? Because remember, he was out last year because of his leukemia for a bit.
And that's another
thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. And you know what? How much I would love to have Roman on TV regularly. I think it would do great. That was also what played into why he's not going to get that championship back anytime soon. Because I don't think Triple H wants to put himself back into that situation of having to book around the time Roman. That was a bad thing, right? Because the fans' argument isn't the fact that Roman was champion. It's the fact of the length of championship doesn't equal title without equal title defenses.
Gotcha.
The length was fine for me, but even who was behind the whole thing. I mean, you say you can't have a special attraction win the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar did. The Rock won the Royal Rumble, didn't he? The 1 year or for the Cena rematch. Oh no, Rock won.
Oh right.
Rock beat CM Punk for the title. But no, you can have a special attraction win the Rumble because in this case, even though John Cena is going to be full time at some point, he's now a year-long special attraction.
Yeah.
Every time he appears, it's going to be a big deal. It's a special attraction, and if the case would be if Roman were to win, we know when we're going to see him again.
Well, if that's the case, then I want David Arquette to come in and win.
Speaking of which, let's get into Rumble predictions for like those 20 empty spots in the men's.
You
Rumble
now
and
get Lego
23 in
Danger
the women.
Ginger after a comment like that. Lego Danger Ginger has to take over this for regular Danger Ginger for a moment because
David Arquette.
that was just an asinine comment.
So,
That
all right.
Are you
How
seriously
about-
telling me that Rated Rumble is not like one of the best wrestling movies ever? Because
see,
it's not
but
really
when you
Oh,
bring
no,
up
it's
his
amazing.
name, no. See what I think of him actually winning the WCW World Championship.
Oh, yeah, that shit was crazy.
All right, so Royal
Um,
Rumble predictions. Did I hear that somewhere?
Well, let's just go around, and we'll go around clockwise, and we'll just say we'll do a couple rounds of surprises we might see. I'll start. Drew Carey. Just kidding.
Special surprise for the Rumble. Are we including like returns, debuts, stuff like that?
Returns,
Or-
debuts, call ups, anyone.
Mine at the moment
Unexpected.
because I've unexpected. All right, that I've seen rumored, and I really do have two, and it's bad. And I guess I'll go with my first
Well,
one.
we're gonna go around one at a
Yeah,
time.
Joe Hendry,
Okay.
the
Who you
TNA
got?
World Champion.
I think Orton's going to make his return at the Rumble.
Okay. Jeff Hardy.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Scott Steiner. There has been rumors that he could appear in the Rumble,
No
and
way.
they
Really?
haven't disappeared any. It seems like they've kind of been gaining a little bit of momentum.
John number 2, I don't know about that. Maybe definitely not in the match, but at the event, I don't know. There's no reason for him to, and they're not really a pay-per-view or PLE
But
kind of thing. They're
If you were,
just kinda,
but if you were going to pop the crowd at the Royal Rumble and kill a little bit of time during
Yeah.
the match, having Uncle Howdy come out for the Rumble match itself,
That wouldn't be bad. That's a
maybe
good
Eric,
idea.
maybe
Right.
you have Eric Rowan enter the match to have another big guy in there who can
True.
eliminate some people real quick. There's logical booking behind having them come out there, and you could have them go after the Miz. They don't have to be in the match neither. They could go after the Miz because they're all on SmackDown. So Miz,
True.
announced? Has Miz announced?
He has
in
not
the
been
Rumble?
announced.
but
I think he's definitely going to be in it.
yeah, like
so that's are you? So we're still going around. We're back to this. Are you saying?
Yeah,
Miz?
sure. I'll say the Miz,
Uh,
but I got a different one.
I mean,
I heard Omos might
Wow.
be making an appearance. He relinquished his title in Japan and is back in the States now. So we'll see what happens. Go on,
just
DG.
real quick. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for beating the Washington Commanders 55-23. I can't.
Damn.
It hasn't ended yet. It's
Yes,
still
yeah,
it's
it-
gonna be a.
Oh, I saw the Gatorade thing going, and on my TV. it
Oh
looks
yeah,
like
no,
the
there's still
final.
like 3 minutes left.
Well, either way, congratulations to the
Ginger just
Philadelphia.
jinxed him.
They can't lose this game. That's
Yeah,
like
no.
30 points in 3 minutes.
It'll be the Ginger curse.
Other surprises for the
So
Rumble.
you said Umos. Your turn now, Dane. Ginger.
I think we see the official WWE debut of Jordan Grace as a roster member.
Okay. I don't know who he is, but okay.
She,
She.
Oh,
Jordan
we're gonna-
Grace.
So you're just
She's
talking
been in the last couple Rumbles.
both sides. Gotcha. Well, I think I saw something the other day about Bad Bunny possibly being in this Royal Rumble. He's apparently been trying to come back really hard because he wants to fight. Logan Paul.
I wouldn't hate that.
yeah, neither would I.
I don't
Not
know
that I
anything
love
about his
Ted Bunny,
wrestling
but I
career.
wouldn't hate that.
I do know that apparently he got one of the biggest pops in like wrestling history whenever
Yes.
he debuted at one event. And
At the Puerto Rico show
okay,
with his match with Damian Priest. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But
Alright.
so now that the
Makes
door's open with TNA, maybe Eric Young.
well, yeah, I could see that. Just to throw it out there because that champion has appeared in the past couple of years. Could we see Masha Slamovich in the women's Royal Rumble match?
Okay.
It would be cool to see her and Jordan Grace face to face one more time, kind of like how they did with Naomi and Jordan Grace last year after Naomi dropped the title to her.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree, and that's why we love it. You know what I mean? That's
Royal
why we love the
Rumble has
Rumble.
always been one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time, which was a reason I loved WCW's World War III. But they only did 4 of them, and all of them weren't all necessarily the greatest booked. We only saw 2 championships ever change hands during those shows for the 4 years they did them. One of them being a 60-man Rumble winner.
Right.
Yes, yeah. World War III was 60-person Royal Rumble with 3 rings. Freaking insane.
Oh, shit. Really?
Go Peacock. Go watch them on
what-
Peacock.
Which one was it?
WCW World War III.
Okay.
The main event of each show was a 60-man Royal Rumble with 20 men in each ring. Now, another thing with it was each year the rules would somehow change. As of certain things, like one year you could eliminate people by pinfall or submission as well as over the top rope. Like, so now it's just a match. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to our conversation. People who could appear. I wouldn't be all that surprised to see The Rock appear in the Rumble.
Yeah, makes sense.
Uh,
Shawn Michaels after last night.
I hope not. I hope not. Sean's
I got
done.
another Roxanne.
Ooh.
Yes, she was in last year's Women's Royal Rumble when she
From
was in
NXT?
NXT. Yes.
Yeah, she's had that heat with Bailey lately, so that makes a lot of sense.
If
Yeah.
we're going to go with people from NXT, Oba Femi.
Ooh,
That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yo, he'd be a monster if he came in.
If Oba Femi was in there, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Final 4.
Or what's his face? Trick Williams.
Yes, Trick
Yes.
Williams, I think his call-up's coming after whatever this whole Wes Lee thing's going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're just killing time now to get to the draft.
I did watch that match on Tuesday. The Wesley versus I can't remember who the other guy was. Did you watch NXT this week?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me go consult my notes while you guys speak.
I'll be back in a minute.
Eddie Thorpe. Oh no. No, this week Trick Williams didn't have a match. That was where he
No, not
slapped.
Trick Williams. Wesley.
Oh,
Who did
Wes.
Wesley fight this week?
Oh, Deion Lennox, where he just put him
Yeah.
down easily. Yeah.
Yo, that match was awesome.
It
I
was
watched that.
okay.
I was like, okay. Like
It was okay. Deion Lennox is still. He's very green. He's very green still. He's figuring himself out, but he's going to be a guy who's in that. If you're not fully familiar with NXT, like every year and a half, 2 years, we get a change in the card because we get the top people called up, and now they start positioning people to come in for those spots. Like Roxanne, I thought was going to get called up last year till her heel turn, and I was like, oh, they're going to let her develop her heel character. I'm for that because she started pulling it off. It became believable that she was that person. So I'm like, hey, if you're going to give these people time and 2.5 years at NXT to see what works for them, and you get that, like I would, another person for the Women's Royal Rumble. Here would be a pop. Mandy Rose.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Eagles officially won.
Yes, the ginger curse is not a thing.
I hear
Sorry,
fireworks going
my
down.
fellow Cowboys fans. I know most of y'all actually hate the Eagles, but I hate the Commanders. I guess it's growing up in the area. I have a little bit of respect for the Eagles. I watched that franchise be horrible for a long time. Now to get Eagles.
Scenery changes this evening, BJ. You've gone through. I feel
What's
like
that?
I feel like I'm getting a collage calendar of you in various locations, like January.
Well, it's too cold for the balcony.
February. In the living room, I am.
But yeah, Mandy
It's
Rose
during
is
Eagle
another
season.
one because I think now that WWE's under new ownership, it's only Only a matter of time. It's just whether she has the itch or not to actually return to the ring. That's all that
Yeah.
is.
And then she's making more money now than she ever did. So
Yeah, you know, OnlyFans. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, look at her. The,
who else? I think
what about
I
Legend?
can think of a million, but
What about Legend?
Yeah.
I said Scott Steiner. What about maybe The Rock? What about Goldberg? Trying to get that
Yeah.
shot at Gunther?
right.
That would make sense. It'd be weird, but it would make
Yeah, I would
sense.
take it
every
It just
second.
comes- it just comes out of left field, you know.
So, since we're talking about the Rumble matches, everything, I want to bring this up
Yeah.
because I've seen this online and I've heard them talk about it on Busted Open the last like week and a half. It's come up in conversation a couple times. So I brought up the idea of The Rock appearing in the Rumble. But what if The Rock were to appear as number 31 and he were to change the rules being in his board member spot for the night to get himself into the Rumble?
That'd be a final boss move, man. That would be a final
Now-
boss move.
Now, how would you guys feel if the main event of WrestleMania this year was something that we've been waiting for anyway since after WrestleMania last year, The Rock and Cody for the WWE Championship?
I mean, it's logical from a money perspective, 100%, like you were saying earlier. You got the hero, you got the villain, and
You also have the whatever was handed to Cody, which
it was a
we
watch.
don't know what, we've never been told what it was.
Everything that I've read multiple interviews so far, and there's like sources that say because Cody gave Roman.
Yeah, yes.
they
Yeah.
gave the
No,
watch
but that's only
But
been
he handed-
speculation.
but he
Cody
handed
had
it back to him.
Cody has never come out and said what was handed to him and he put in his pocket. The Rock has never come out and said what was given to what he gave to him.
Like I said, things that I've
The,
seen.
the speculation has
Just
been
look-
most. That was my speculation. Was the watch, like a broken watch, because Cody had given them to a bunch of the people. But at the same time, there was speculation at one point that it was possibly the Ulafala, a piece of that broken off because Cody broke the bloodline when he defeated Roman. Which is a very good point, which I would hope they would bring that up in storyline, right? The idea that when Cody beat Roman, he broke the bloodline. He opened the door for Solo to take over. He opened up the door for the likes of the Gorillas of Destiny and Jacob Fatu to come in. Like, I'm not trying to play into the whole KO being right thing or the whole Cody heel thing. I'm just saying that's something at some point that could be looked back on to go as part of that turn,
Mhm.
you know, or where it's not a forced heel turn, but something that is rarely seen. Like, what if during the big Hogan run, the whole locker room just turned on him and the locker room turned heel on the top face when it came to him? Kind of like what they're doing with the New Day right now, right? The disrespect that they feel because of what they did to Big E, the locker room has turned on them. Like, just something like that as a general idea would be something interesting. It's just a down the line thing. But yeah, Rock being number 31.
Yeah, that would piss me off, but like it would make sense for the story.
Yeah. That's why it would piss you, because it's just like, that's a final boss move. And I've always
It is,
felt
and it's like fuck you. I don't want to see you at WrestleMania. Like your time, you've had your time. There's so many amazing talents on the roster right now. Like Rock, I don't really care about The Rock right now. Like I wish he would have just stayed back on the TKO board. Like he has no business putting his nose in any of this stuff right now. Because like, dude, you came back and you did your Roman Reigns thing with your cousin, with your family. You defended your family
because
honor.
of the Cody crybabies crying that
Yeah.
he won the Rumble and wasn't getting his title shot right away. Which even Triple H said in that documentary was like, I was in a hard spot in the situation because he had already planned it for Cody Roman 2 at Mania. And then The Rock just shows up like, I want my match with my cousin.
And
I
think a lot
hope
of
that's
times-
the match we get this year somehow. Like, what if
Yeah.
The Rock shows up 31? We have all these big names left in the ring, Roman and whoever else, and somehow The Rock ends up eliminating Roman, setting up that match. I want that match still.
what, Rock versus Cody?
No, Rock versus Roman. Like, I
Oh,
want
Rock
that.
versus
I
Roman.
want that match more than I want Rock and Cody.
Gotcha.
Rock and Cody should have happened at SummerSlam, but The Rock went off to go film. So
Yeah.
I think he was filming Moana 2 then, the live action for it, or the
I
live
think he had like 5 movies drop last year. That dude's active.
Hey, good for him.
Oh, there
Make-
go the fireworks.
Hell yeah. Oh, you got him over there now?
Yeah.
There, but
Or are they playing them on TV? I actually had people firing them off in
Oh.
my backyard. Like, I saw people down the street shooting off fireworks.
Oh yeah, these are local fireworks.
Okay. Cause baby, you're a firework. But yeah, no, that would piss me off if The Rock came and was number 31.
And then number 32, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Now that I'm for Vince versus Cody WrestleMania.
No chance. That's what you got.
No chance. Oh, Shane McMahon. Do we think does he have any parts in WWE anymore? Is he still on the roster, or
Well,
did he leave? and
He
go to a
was
different
last
faction?
seen. He was last seen with Tony Khan.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if Shane O'Mac wound up running down the runway, coming in entrant number 15.
Money, money, money.
Here comes
So-
the money.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Here comes the money.
Money, 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 dollar, dollar, ring, bling, bling. I remember when that
Throwing his awful punches.
yeah.
who else? What about for the women? Let's switch over because we
Lita.
really hyper focused on the men's rumble, right? What could be Victoria for the women's rumble? She just signed
Yeah.
some sort of Legends deal.
Wow.
She did a
really?
live video on Instagram earlier tonight, but I was doing this, so I couldn't acknowledge
She goes
it.
live pretty regularly before her appearances and stuff like that.
Right.
Like she's pretty active on social media. Could we see Jade Cargill return?
I hope so. I'd like to see her.
Yeah,
I'm a-
yeah.
I'm a huge Jade fan. She's that bitch, and I
When she
stand-
first
Oh, she's
started, I
amazing.
was like,
Yeah.
you know, she was sloppy in WWE because that was around when I first started watching. Was when she started, like last
I'm-
year, and over here, not from NXT. And yeah, she's definitely stepped her game up.
she's only been in NXT in appearances with Bianca. She actually was in AEW first, and she had a huge undefeated streak over there. Then she put over Chris Statlander twice on her way out, and then she
Gotcha.
debuted last year's Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, she,
That-
Yeah, I think so.
That song just saw her.
Yeah, no, she has that it factor. She just has the care. It just all has to get developed into one package.
And she's strong. Like she is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cut.
I can't wait for them to turn her heel. That like how much they're going to make a mistake turning Naomi or Bianca heel, where they should have had Jade take out one of them and take the spot
Absolutely.
in that match, and we later get the reveal that it was Jade all along. Because Jade will work better, especially with being kind of green still in WWE. I think Jade would work much better as a heel because you open up the playbook more for her to do things that a babyface won't do.
Maybe Jade pulled a Fight Club and did it to herself, like Tyler Durden punching himself in the face, throwing him through a table.
Oh my god. Jade Cargill took out Jade Cargill.
Exactly.
And she did it for The Rock. Just because. That's because I wanted to throw that out there. Just
Oh, yeah,
because.
no, it would make sense.
Total
Rocky,
sense.
She did it for Ava.
Yeah.
The NXT final boss, which, by the way, I will say it again, getting to see her and The Rock on screen together in NXT for
That
that
was really
one
cool, yeah.
show. you know, and Ethan Page got to be a part of that. That's amazing for him, you know. Like, that's a moment I will remember, not just for NXT, but just in wrestling in general.
That's
to
his
see-
daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so appearances in the Women's Rumble.
I like what you said, BJ. Lita. I would love to see Amy Dumas back in the ring.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch return, I'm assuming soon.
Yeah.
Of course.
We know we have Charlotte's return.
Maybe Alexa.
Yes.
We know that her comeback was kind of put off because of a contract thing. Well, maybe they get it done.
True. I think.
But
okay.
I mean, or could they just be saying that to start fueling a storyline?
And also, I love it that they're keeping her separate from Wyatt Six right now.
As of right now, we don't know how that's all, because as you and me have talked about before, with like the Wyatts on SmackDown were on Raw, and then Braun was on SmackDown, we kind of kept that separate. Now, if Alexa returns and she's on SmackDown, hey, we kind of have something there now after the Wyatts finish up with the Miz, or the Miz can go to them and be like, hey, I could use your guys' help, you know, because Miz is going to be on a recruiting thing. So, just to cycle back to the men's real quick, X Factor winner that I would love to see, and I know it's not going to happen, Karrion Kross.
Dude,
Okay.
Karrion's very underutilized right now. That guy's got range.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
dude's
did you
I saw the
see?
interview with him.
Did you see the video from Raw this past week? It was like, so during the commercial break, sometimes they'll record the videos and interview them live with the fans. So they're like standing in front of a box.
Internationally, they don't get commercials. Only us in the US get commercials. You need a VPN to avoid the commercials, which is bullshit. But apparently they do all these awesome segments when we're watching commercials. The rest of the world.
Yeah, I know.
These.
I mean, let's be honest. Even before that old thing, these things were happening regardless whether fans on TV and wherever you're watching was seeing it or not. These things were still happening. So Jackie Redmond, I think it was, interviewed like during one of the commercial breaks. So I saw it on Instagram eventually. Interviews Karrion and Scarlett, and she asked him some question. He's like, "Yeah, me and Scarlett, we just threw a guy down some stairs. I was just breaking some baseball bats over my knee, and we were doing this he reminds me a lot of Jesse Ventura, just in a darker fashion.
Okay.
Like the way he speaks and the way he cuts his promos is very Jesse Ventura like.
Yeah,
but
I saw there was like a, you know how there's those wrestling like interview shows, podcasts, like CVV clips.
Oh, I love CVV.
Dude, like there's so many awesome ones that just pop up because of my algorithm on YouTube. But I saw one with Karrion Kross in an interview, and just like seeing him outside of the persona, dude, his range, he was funny. I could see him as an actor, like working in like an action film, a comedy film. He could do like a freaking like a grandma's boy, like a stoner comedy kind of thing. But I could also see him in like a horror flick as like, you know, the villain. Like he's got range, and I feel like he's not being utilized with his persona because he could bring in so many different types of emotions and like, you know, like that. I wasn't a big fan of the Final Judgment. I think that's what they're called, right?
Final Testament.
I wasn't a big fan of the faction because when I first started watching, they were like a big thing, and I just didn't really get it.
I'm just not a fan of how they're booked at the moment, but I am a fan of them being a faction. Like you got Scarlett and then Paul Ellering as the manager. We're talking about the same Paul Ellering who was the manager of the Road Warriors in the 80s.
Oh,
and got them yeah. And then AOP
looking dude.
and then AOP, who are complete powerhouses.
Dude,
who's just well, there are times being there's bigger things going on right now. Let's get everything sorted out. I think they're on the WrestleMania card. And then you got Karrion Kross
for the titles.
Like all these guys, like
War Raiders.
Yeah, like all those guys are legit, and when they get their time to shine, they're going to shine. Like even the couple minutes Karrion Kross gets on the show, it's like seeing Harley Cameron on AEW. We'll give you 3 minutes in a backstage segment, and they're knocking it out the ballpark.
Yeah.
Like that really shows that, like, hey, we're giving you trash and you're turning it to gold.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we've gotten through a point of who could not appear. We got the likes of from Lita to The Rock. Maybe a Trish Stratus.
I didn't get. I was gonna say I didn't get to say my female one. It was gonna be Trish Stratus.
That's who my female one really was. That was gonna be my next one. Maybe Molly Holly.
Wow.
That's
a deep cut.
So 2018, she appeared at the Philly Rumble I was at.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I might as well say Sable then.
God no. God no. No, because that means Brock Lesnar's returning. No.
Oh, that's right. They're married.
Kelly.
About
That Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson.
Tori
yeah.
appeared in the 2018 one I went to as well. I was just going. So we'll start with the Women's Rumble. Who do you think wins the Women's Rumble this year?
So who are their champs right now?
Rhea Ripley for the World Championship and Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship.
Okay.
Who are your? I mean, if you don't have an outright winner, maybe a couple front runners.
So the final four will be Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, and Sasha. No, I'm kidding.
If Vince was here booking it somehow.
And like, I don't know, someone else. But I think Charlotte. Wins.
I mean, it would make sense because I hear that she's very.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her win, but.
So go ahead, Mike. You can go next.
I mean, some of the front runners, I would say, because I don't really have like a definitive yes for who's gonna be the last woman standing, but I definitely think Piper Niven has some bravado and some locomotion behind her right now, especially with the Chelsea Green thing. You know what I mean? So they could piggyback off of that with a very comedic story.
I mean, I could see that more going toward that somehow Piper accidentally eliminates Chelsea as soon as she gets in the ring, like what happened when she returned at the Rumble. And
maybe the other way around. Chelsea accidentally eliminates Piper.
No, Piper accidentally eliminates Chelsea, which leads Chelsea to turn on Piper, turning her face and setting them up for a U.S. women's title match at WrestleMania.
But Piper is already like leaning towards turning on Chelsea. It would only make sense to lean into that.
I mean, I haven't really seen it either way, and I think that Chelsea would be the one to turn first, especially if she starts seeing it come. Chelsea's all about herself. But either way, I see them gearing up for a match with each other for the Women's U.S. Championship. And I would hope to see it at WrestleMania. So I think Piper deserves that moment.
Yeah.
Piper Niven, when they named her Dewdrop or whatever. God, I was so upset.
I don't even know that name.
Be glad you don't.
But if Jade comes back, she's probably my front runner. I'd like to see her take on Rhea. I feel like that would be a banger.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be a solid match. Because who else? The women's division actually has a lot of potential. Has a lot of good performers on their card. But it's always in those moments where you're like trying to think of who's who.
I'm muting real quick, Bomlet.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, do think.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Come here.
You're not muted.
You want to say hi to all these
You're not
friends?
muted.
Sorry, I'll pick it up.
Hi.
You gotta be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Now you're muted.
There you go.
Oh well, I guess I don't know what's going on over here.
You gonna say
You
hi?
were muted and now you're not.
Say hi, everyone.
Say hi.
Don't be shy now.
Say hi. But yeah, when it comes to that women's Royal Rumble match, I definitely can see Charlotte being the one to win. Like, and I hate to say that, but you know, if I'm going to pick somebody else outside of that, I could see like Bianca Belair possibly winning it, even though I think she's already won one. I could see Becky winning it. You know what though? If I'm going to sit down, I could see Jordynne Grace winning it as well.
Yeah, I don't see him putting on an outsider.
But
You
Jordynne
know?
Grace is no longer going to be an outsider.
Yeah, true.
She's no,
But-
and what how
push?
I mean, and how big of a debut would that be for Jordynne Grace to win the women's Royal Rumble, and maybe she would go after Rhea, Jordynne Grace and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
I don't know if she's that caliber yet. They'll probably stick her in like the Intercontinental or US.
No, Jordynne Grace
division for a
Jordynne Grace is already a former world champion. She's ready.
Bottom
Yeah,
line,
in TNA.
my money.
That's like saying,
She's
like,
ready. She's
Maxine.
ready. She proved she's gone through NXT or she's gone through
She's
NXT
ready, but
already.
she's not there yet.
She can handle the big moment. She
Yeah,
can
I
handle
get
the
it,
big
but-
moment.
I'm saying from WWE's perspective, I don't think they're looking at her like, oh yeah, put her right in the title picture, because that's not how they look at new people coming in, unless they've done more than TNA.
I mean, she's already been basically through the system the past year in NXT.
I just don't see them sticking her in the title picture right away. Maybe after a year or two.
No, she's going to be, if not in the title picture for WrestleMania, she will be in the title picture right after WrestleMania. She's a name.
Mhm. And we're not talking Intercontinental or US title picture.
No, I'm talking world title or WWE women's title. And now, would it surprise me if they were to do that to help elevate some of those women? Man, my camera doesn't do that. No, that wouldn't surprise me.
You can do this
neither.
too.
But
My money's on Maxine Dupree.
God, and you think that I'm going outside the box? Geez, I'm just thinking of a shocking moment because the
She's gonna
fans
be
know
in
who fans know who Jordynne Grace is. You know, she's over with crowds. Like, they're going to pop when she comes out. You know, they know who she is, and she's been in plenty of big time moments. Just because she hasn't been in a WWE big time moment doesn't mean she's not ready for the moment. It's not like I'm sitting
I'm
here
not
saying Joe
saying she's
Hendry's
not
going.
ready. I'm saying she's not there yet.
So then she's not ready. If
I
she's
didn't
not
say that.
there
I said
yet,
she's not there yet.
but I'm just saying, as her
I mean, isn't
debut.
that kind of the
You
same
put
thing?
her in a
She's
main
not
event
ready,
picture
not there
anytime
yet.
next
Thank
year.
you. Thank
People
you.
walk away. They change the channel.
Bye. See you later.
Nobody, you know, like
Bye.
she hasn't. The average WWE fan is like, oh yeah, I remember her from a Rumble, but that's it.
See, I don't even know.
She's
who
not
you're
there
talking
yet.
about.
See,
I disagree. I disagree. Just because this.
Keep going. He's telling us to keep going.
Talk.
You were the one
Oh.
talking. You were in mid conversation.
yeah, yeah, that.
No, I mean, bottom line is nobody from another organization is going to win the Rumble. It's going to be somebody from
Right.
WWE. You know, like the roster. Like it's gonna be Charlotte Flair or like a Nia Jax or a Liv Morgan. You know,
Yeah.
somebody on a pedestal right now who, they got to get that title. That's why I want Maxine Dupree to win it, because it'd be so stupid. But like, I love her. She's awesome. Very attractive.
Or
too.
Ivy Nile.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I understand your guys' point, but in my opinion, I think she's right. It would be a shocking moment And I think that she's ready for
If
the
she
moment.
premieres, sure, but I don't think
Yeah,
she's not.
I
gonna win
think she
it.
did. I think she makes her official WWE debut in the Rumble match, and I think even as for she could be one of the final four.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like there's a thing to where I think that most WWE fans, especially people who go to PLEs and these bigger shows, they watch more than what everybody thinks. I think just the average WWE fan at a Monday Night Raw, we're talking a bit of a different story, right? To where the people who go to Raws and stuff like that are probably more of the person who watches only WWE and occasionally goes over to something else, right?
Well, when I say the average fan, I'm not saying people who go to events. The average fan doesn't go to events. They watch it once in a while.
I mean, but then the average fan doesn't really calculate into this, because how many average fans, if they're going to be watching a PLE, are going to turn it off because most likely the women's match probably opens. The women's Rumble probably opens the show.
Yeah.
To be honest, with the way the rest of the show's looking, like I said, that ladder match has to happen before the men's Rumble. Otherwise you're going to kind of give it away without giving it away. You're going to give us an idea.
Are all the matches set for Rumble? Are they going to be building?
There might be more added. There's only like 3 besides the 2 Rumble matches.
I mean, we have both Rumble matches, which are both probably going to be an hour apiece. We have a 2-hour 3 pinfalls tag team match and a WWE Championship.
That's going to be a long one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, so
I don't even like DIY and Motor City Machine Guns that much to watch a 2 out of 3s match.
I'm all about that match. Like, I could see them.
I've been watching all those guys for a really long time.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I could definitely see, but I guess if I'm going to sit here and pick a winner, I guess it has to be Charlotte, right? And then she chases after Tiffy on SmackDown because that seems like the most logical matchup.
I'd be surprised if they didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want.
They gotta do something new, because like last year we already had so many of the similar rivalries. Like we already had Bayley and Nyla for like 5 months, and then
we've had Charlotte and Rhea twice already at WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Well, then maybe she goes after Tiffy.
Yeah, I think that's the better. They have similar movesets,
Add all the blondes.
I mean, not just that, the old and the new, right? Because Charlotte would be considered the torch bearer right now.
True. Yeah.
And that's a big spot. If they want to push Tiffy to, as they would say, the Tiffy top, that you would
announce it properly if you're going to do it. You know what I mean? You got to give it the whole zeal.
The only
Tiffy top.
The only thing I need to do is be Ginger and steal souls. All right, those are the only things I need to do. But no,
Tiffy top.
But I mean, you look at it like that. There's an interesting matchup to be there.
Yeah.
And it's a matchup that I might not be necessarily all invested in, but I know I'm going to see an entertaining match out of it. I'm just afraid I'm going to see Charlotte as champion again, because there's the whole idea of I don't like being force-fed. Like John Cena was force-fed in the early to mid 2000s on. Hogan was force-fed to us through the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Even Roman to a point was force-fed before the whole, because Roman really didn't get responses positive until the whole bloodline thing, and he started coming out being the tribal chief. That's where fans were like, oh, hey, we like this. That's where those positive responses began for him. Yeah. So there's an idea to be said of the idea of forcing somebody down the fans' throats. And also, what would it say for Tiffy if Tiffy were to defeat Charlotte at WrestleMania on the biggest stage of them all?
That'd be a good match.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that match.
Yeah, you see, you're on the same. You and me are on that same. Yeah. So then, the men's Royal Rumble match.
Who do you think's gonna win it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Rollins.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go wild card.
Rollins makes the final four.
Yeah, definitely
um,
Final Four. I could see him going after
Drew
Cody
makes
or
final four.
Drew. Yeah,
Maybe Goldberg
Cena.
makes final four.
If Goldberg's in it.
Yeah.
Because
I could see him doing that, though.
Substitute Gilbert.
Setting up the Gunther match.
because I could also see the idea of the winner of the Rumble chasing after the Cody. So what would you do in the situation? Then that opens up the door to bring Goldberg in to directly challenge Gunther. Like, hey, you don't have a WrestleMania opponent. I got one more match in me.
Yeah, true.
You know, you
Wow,
could
I don't like that.
definitely just slightly go off the path to get back on.
Dude, so
Yeah.
I'm rewatching last year's Rumble, and it's KO versus Logan Paul. And dude, Logan Paul, man, he shows his colors as a wrestler. He really does. I hate
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I can't stand him, but he's a freaking he's
Anytime-
passionate.
He
Anytime
plays
he's
a
gone
good
up
heel.
against Ricochet has been amazing.
Yeah. And it's just funny how last Rumble KO's fighting Logan Paul. Now this Rumble he's fighting Cody, his friend turned enemy.
You know what? Who you got, BJ? Who you got for the Rumble?
Yeah, I said Rollins.
Punk.
Punk?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Punk is definitely up there for me, but for whatever reason, I feel like there's a good chance we could see something with like a Punk Roman match at WrestleMania, which
True.
would be a huge deal. It's a potential main event match with no championship at stake, which isn't to say like, hey, what if neither of them win the Rumble, but Punk somehow becomes world champion before WrestleMania, say at Elimination Chamber? You know,
Right.
like that would make for an interesting story because then you can insert Roman into that championship picture. And then, as we've speculated with the transfer window of Roman going to Raw, that would all but cement it at that point.
Yeah.
This is an all-star field for the men's Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It
only
really
10 have
is.
been announced.
But you know what's really sad though? is I was
And a
thinking-
third of them are probably that third are all either a Hall of Famer in Rey Mysterio or future Hall of Famers. Like to have a third of,
Shinsuke.
you know, Shinsuke could be a wait and see, but he's a former Royal Rumble winner. He won it in 2018.
Yeah.
I was there.
You know, does he still have the title? I can't remember.
He is
Or
the
did
United
LA
States
win?
champion currently.
He
Yeah.
still is.
Yes. And he
Yeah.
eliminated Roman Reigns to win that Royal Rumble, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I know that
Yeah,
sounds
that's right. I remember watching it like, no, not again.
And then you get the his finisher spot where it looked like Roman was going for the spear at the same time. Like I'm sitting next to the ramp watching that happen. And I watched the video and I still don't know if I said yo or no, thinking Roman hit the spear. And then next thing you know, you just see they see him get up and Nakamura throws him out and wins the Rumble. But yeah, you know, it's definitely to where this is a star-studded event.
Well, what about you, DJ? Who do you think?
You
I
know
got
what?
Rollins, he's got Punk.
You know what? I honestly don't know, and I hate that I'm about to say this. John Cena. A John Cena,
Cena
Cody
wins,
Rhodes,
LOL.
a John Cena, Cody Rhodes main event and a passing the torch situation where it's one of those rare occasions where you could do a face versus face and get away with it.
Or
The only
John
way I'm
Cena
for
versus
it is
Gunther.
Cody is a heel.
Yep.
Or he knows Gunther, man.
I mean, I'm not as interested in that because for whatever reason that doesn't interest me as much as
Yeah.
Cena.
Cody.
But you know what? No, Randy Orton.
I would love it.
A
Would
returning
absolutely
Randy
love it if
Orton?
won. I would love it if he won. Like I said, my money's still on Seth, but I would love it if Randy came back and won, and then went to WrestleMania, won the title, and then did like a retirement tour or something. Because that man is beat the fuck up.
Now, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but moving on, Motor City Machine Guns and DIY 2 out of 3 falls.
It's gonna be a long match.
Or it
With
could be
lots of
too quick.
interferences.
I don't know if we're going to see a lot of interference in this match.
Pretty Deadly's definitely interfering. They've been setting that up for the last month.
Yeah, and then if
Angel and Humberto.
yeah, but most
then
likely
I'll
they'll
over
come
it.
out to counter the other interference and not necessarily interfere in the match itself. Like Pretty Deadly will interfere in the match, and then they'll come out to chase them off to allow the match to be back to a heads-up match.
Yeah.
Because they have no real investment outside of the championships of who comes out as champion, and they're not going to care.
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, I know they've been setting up like DIYs, like Pretty Reckless or Pretty Deadless. You need to help us out with everything that we're doing, so this way you can fight us for the championships and blah blah blah.
Well, yeah.
I haven't really been following their arc too much. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the of DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. Like they just, I can appreciate them as wrestlers and what they do, but nothing's clicked with me with them. You know what I mean? But like I said, a year ago said the same thing about Kevin Owens, and now a year later I'm wearing his face on my chest. You know?
I mean, I've watched the Motor City Machine Gun since the since the TNA days.
Okay.
Johnny Gargano and Ciampa I've watched for years, even before them being in NXT. And I'm a huge heel Ciampa fan.
Gotcha.
Ciampa as a heel is freaking awesome, especially when he gets to show that mean streak.
Yeah. Blackheart Ciampa is the best.
Yes. God, the good old NXT Black and Gold days. But yeah,
You guys think, do you think Big E's going to return this Rumble?
oh,
I've heard speculation on that.
I've heard there's a
Oh.
little speculation. I think he's done now.
Might be.
I could see him coming out while the New Day is in the match.
Yeah.
You know, but not as a competitor in the Rumble. More of, oh, hey, remember what you guys did to me? It's time for payback. And he becomes the manager of another team or something.
That'd be cool.
You know, like we could definitely see.
When I was watching with my parents last night, my dad used to watch back when like the 70s, you know, back in that. He's like, do these guys have managers anymore? And I was
Not
like,
really.
not really in the WWE anymore. I was like, you get it sometimes on like the indie circuit way more than you would here, but they kind of did away with like management.
But you
Yeah.
see it just in different ways, like Paul
Yeah, like the
Heyman.
Final Testament, they've
Yeah.
got those two.
Yeah, Scarlett Millering.
You know,
Yeah.
you have Paul Heyman, you
Yeah.
know, it's just something more of, I wish they would bring it back a bit more because I missed that because they didn't always have to be involved, but just having them there.
They
you
added
know?
personality and then like an extra layer and element to the heat, you know?
Yeah.
They help build
Like-
the story like Paul Bearer, man.
Before
Legend.
MVP left, they were trying to do that with him. They had him first with
Okay.
the Hurt Business and then with Omos.
Yeah.
But yeah, there isn't a lot of that.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I'm curious what changed.
I think it was just a shift in the times of wrestling, just going through that metamorphosis and change to where there's not a lot for them now. Because now it's also, if you just have a normal everyday person out there who's not taking bumps, what happens if they get hurt?
Yeah.
You know, like
True.
they're not really now. If you look at some of the managers now, right? Scarlett, she's trained. She trained in the ring. She's an actual wrestler. She wrestles on house shows and stuff still.
Okay.
So, you know, like having people down at ringside like that, when you do a spot with them. That's why it's a much bigger thing when we saw Paul Heyman put through the announce table by the Bloodline at Madison Square
crazy.
Garden. He doesn't take bumps. Heyman's not the guy to take bumps.
But he did for the company.
Yeah, no, and he'll do it when it makes sense. And we worked up for a month after WrestleMania or whatever, 6 weeks, whatever it was, to that moment where Solo's like, acknowledge me as your tribal chief. And he's just like, you're not my tribal chief. Well. But I think this tag team match will be fun. I think it's going to be a fun 2 out of 3. It's another match I could see potentially opening the show or following up the Women's Rumble match.
Yeah.
I would do the WWE title match first, then this match as a cool-off, because it's going to be such a long match, you're going to give fans time to rest for the Rumble.
Right.
Because either way, you're going to run into 2 matches to where there's going to be a lot of pops. And that's not even thinking about, like, you do 1 Rumble match, that's 30 pops plus the finish, and whatever else happens. You know, like, as being somebody who's been in a crowd for one, it does get draining. But then you bounce back. But, you know, being able to have it spaced out.
It's like an hour long, like the Rumble. Like each Rumble is like an hour long. It's just like, woo. Yeah.
I mean, 30 people coming out, every 90 seconds or whatever, almost by design. Just like the Elimination Chamber is almost guaranteed to go a certain amount of time because of the fact of every 5 minutes somebody comes in. So you're guaranteed 20 minutes or whatever before you even get that last person out, and then however long the match goes from there. Who you guys got winning this? And do we have new WWE Tag Team Champions, or do our champions retain?
I think DIY is doing a good job as a heel. You know, with the heel switch, they definitely set up everything really smoothly and really well. Like, they even got me. I remember seeing the cast when they turned, and I was like, oh, what? Like, I could see it in Ciampa, but I didn't know about who's Joey, or not Joey.
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, when that happened, I had been waiting for the Johnny heel
legit
turn.
dropped. I was like, what?
Yeah, when that was the twist to that, was Johnny also turning heel, and not the typical we waiting for them to, because they're kind of like Sammy and KO. They're always going to be intertwined with each other. But I got DIY. I got DIY retaining.
I think that
that's the way I'm
Motor City
leaning
Machine
also.
Guns- okay, I think MCMG is going to win it just because they're kind of like the face of the tag team like unit over there on SmackDown. So like, I feel like it'll just help kind of bring up a different kind of like a heel faction or something like that.
Yeah.
Plus, the crowd really likes Motor City Machine Guns. Like, they really, when they come out, they're like, you know, they go wild. So.
Yeah, and that's a team that most WWE fans had probably never seen before they debuted on SmackDown, and their response absolutely tremendous to them because that means people knew the name, people knew the history.
Fucking quick.
Well, they've been around 20 years.
Like they premiered.
Yeah, they've won titles almost. They won. I think it was 2 weeks or something like that because they were in the number one contenders tournament.
SmackDown, and then they were the freaking champions that like the next week, and I'm like, I have no idea who these guys are.
Those guys are amazing. They've won tag team gold everywheres.
Okay.
Former X Division champions. I believe both were also former TNA World Tag Team World Champions as well. They have done it.
Saban won it off Bully Ray.
Yeah, they've gone off and been single and successful in singles and tag team runs.
Gotcha.
Like, they're an amazing team. They are amazing in whatever they do. And hey, this is a time where now in wrestling, especially with social media, I feel like the fans know more.
Yeah.
Even if you're not watching the product, you see these 30-second videos on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, short YouTube videos.
Well,
You know,
also
like,
see,
oh,
the
this,
WWE universe is like leaning into it. They're like, all right,
yeah,
if
you
we're gonna
know,
bring in people, we have to release this stuff.
like also like the idea of somebody like Jordan Grace, right? Like, hey, we've
Like-
seen her in 2 Rumbles. We've seen her across this past year in NXT. Now, what else has she done? You type her name and you start seeing all these bangers of matches that she had with the likes of Naomi, Masha Slamovich, and all these other top talents.
Masha Slamovich, that was her name. That's a
Yeah,
great
TNA
name.
champion.
Yeah, current
I love
TNA
that name.
Knockouts champion.
Masha.
I saw her a couple years ago at the GCW show she wrestled.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
nice.
legit too. Like,
I just love that name. That name's great.
She's Russian, so it makes sense.
yeah,
And also that Slamovich be Slamovich.
so we've talked about every other match for the Royal Rumble. I guess it's time to talk about the ladder match.
Dun dun dun.
What
Yeah,
How
I can
do-
see this one going either way, honestly.
I agree. I agree as that being the fan perspective, looking at it, like KO winning would be a shocker. Which is why I
Yeah,
think this match needs to happen first. Because in hindsight, like I picked Randy Orton to win. Randy Orton could go after either of them. It's just the terms of, is Randy Orton a heel going after Cody, or is he a babyface going after KO?
Well, he'd be babyface going after KO, or kind of like anti-hero going after KO because he's always. I mean, he's been way
Yeah.
more babyface.
Well,
this
I'm just
past
saying
year.
that, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if he's going to chase after Cody, I want the heel turn because we've had a whole year of every time we saw Randy next to Cody, the side eye looking at the championship.
Yeah, that and also like he got his ass beat for sticking up for Cody so many times. You
I mean,
or
was-
helping him out, so he put it
like,
on himself. But
which is also why I think there's story there, which was part of the reason why I'm picking Cody to win, is because I think that not only could we see Randy Orton in the Rumble, we could see Randy Orton return and screw KO out of the championship.
true. But he also has that. He's got Sami Zayn relying on. I need your help.
What's
out there,
Sami Zayn going to do? Get RKO'd coming out to the ring?
Well, if he interferes when Cody, well, say for instance, KO takes out Randy again, Cody's in the ring, ref's not looking, Sammy comes out to help guarantee some kind of a win. You know, that's possible.
Yeah,
But
but
I
at the
could
same
definitely see-
time, whose side is Sammy really on? Because you got to remember, Sammy's also loyal to Roman.
He is.
KO's doing the whole thing to put that
But-
divide there to weaken
Yeah.
Roman's stance.
I
So
don't think
let's
he did
look
such
at
a good
this.
job with it.
Let's look at this from a deeper perspective of, hey, that's also my friend. If I can pull him out of that mix, that's one less person Roman has to fall back on to help him. Because Sammy was one of the people recruiting for KO or for Roman.
Yeah,
Originally.
No, without a doubt. But I think this whole promo that we saw the other day with Kevin really laying into Sammy, and right now the bloodline it's a thing, but it's not a thing right now. So like I definitely think that the Canadian bond might be deeper than the bloodline.
I don't see Sammy turning heel though, and that becomes the problem.
But
I don't
that would
think
be
so.
awesome if he did, and like we need some excitement right now.
So what?
We need
We pair them back up for some type of tag team run again going into
No,
WrestleMania.
He just helps him win the title. That's it. He pulls out favor.
Yeah, but
that's
at
it.
that point, you're now inserting Sami Zayn into the story.
Yeah, and they can
If-
don't have to
even as a-
necessarily team up for a tag team thing, but they could still be,
I-
their own little mini faction.
I mean,
the Canadian Nightmares.
because I also let's look into perspective of the whole Sammy hitting Rollins with the haluva kick when he was going after McIntyre with it. There's a
Yeah.
whole nother storyline going on that KO is also partially involved in, that he's been stirring the pot with.
Yeah,
Like there's so many different little things going on, and it seems like they're pushing the narrative at the moment of Sammy doing what's best for Sammy and nobody else. And Sammy made that clear in his promo on Monday night, that when Rollins asked, hey, when was the last time you did something for you? Where do you see yourself? And he started thinking about it. And he's like, I want that spot. You know, like,
No, without a doubt.
and
Like I
you
said,
know,
just going off of the promo between KO and Sammy.
yeah, I
there
mean,
were
which
some-
is
there
that
were some
conversation.
unspoken words in that
But
promo.
I mean, also KO, it plays into his character of being selfish and manipulating
Yeah.
to those around him. Let's
KO
be
is
honest on that front too, because again, he's trying to recruit whoever he can to help him beat Cody because he feels like he has no friends. Well, you put yourself in this situation.
Well, he
now.
doesn't understand why people aren't seeing what he's seeing, which I mean, it makes perfect sense.
No,
I absolutely understand why he's pissed at him, you know. And so yeah, like he is looking for he's looking around for like stability, but also he's looking around being like, why am I the only person that sees this? Why am I the only person?
And
that
we
sees
kind of
this?
get the confirmation that he's not the only one. Seth
Yeah.
sees it. Drew sees it. So there
Yeah.
are other people who do see it, but
That's
also
what, earlier we were talking about, like, you know, putting people together, like that's a
Yeah.
faction that would be
you
pretty
know,
stellar.
and it just goes to like a bit of a deeper thing with KO because he's very good at wording his stuff, as his promo specifically, to make you question what's really going on. And it's to a point to where not only does it weaken Roman, but if he can swing Sammy to his side, that's now a 4-man stable we could potentially see come together. But I don't see Sammy working well with Seth at the moment, and I don't see him definitely working well with McIntyre at the moment. I think Seth and Drew even have a match this Monday night coming up. Or Sammy and Drew. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sammy and Drew. So, you know, like, I saw an Adam Pearce video earlier where that was, I think, one of the matches he announced for tomorrow night on Instagram.
Nice.
So there's definitely something there, and how much I could see Sammy coming out during the match, but I think he takes KO's head off. Or he just leaves KO there to lose, which would be even the more thing. He just stands there. He's just like, I'm not getting in it. Or we just see him at the monitor in the back, like he's going to run out and he never does.
Gotcha.
You know, I just definitely see Cody retaining at this point. and at that point, I think Cody will probably drop the belt at WrestleMania. It's just a matter to who.
So apparently the lineup for tomorrow is a tag team championship match of JD McDonough, Dominic versus the War Raiders, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Raquel and Liv Morgan, Logan Paul to make a WWE. Yeah.
Raquel.
Or however you say Raquel, whatever. Spelled
Well.
R-A-Q-U-E-L. I say Raquel because I knew a girl in high school named Raquel who spelled it that way.
I just had to make sure I heard right at first.
Yeah. Raquel Rodriguez. Dude, I tried doing a live stream one night of one of the PLEs, and I gave up because I was like, I can't even say this woman's name right. I quit. And then it says Logan Paul to make a WWE Raw debut, and then Cody Rhodes to appear, apparently. This is from tpww.net. And then the headline of it says, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair match plans for WrestleMania 41 update. So I don't know if that's that's more of a
just real
clickbait.
quick to respond to that. What I would do to put a stable behind Cody, if that was the case, I would have Cody take over American Made. It's built into the name for them to combine and become American Nightmare. Just throwing it out
Nightmare.
there. The American Nightmare. But I can't
Nightmare,
see.
totally.
Oh, Omos needs. I don't know. He's going to be lower than low because he needs a mouthpiece. Without a mouthpiece, he's not going anywhere in WWE.
What, he can't talk on the mic?
He was fine from what I remember.
I mean, he was okay, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. He can talk. Brock
Well,
Lesnar can grab a mic and talk. It doesn't
Yeah.
make them interesting.
The
You know, like,
personality was
But
missing.
Lesnar's really good on the mic.
I mean, Lesnar, I will say this, Lesnar in his last run at the end when it was just him and Paul was, he was allowed to let his personality show, which really helped a lot. And he actually was, anytime before that, Brock Lesnar was not interesting on the mic whatsoever. You could literally walk away for 2 minutes, come back, and not miss a single thing, and you would still know everything going on.
Yeah. Once Heyman left him,
Yeah.
and he got to like actually do his own stuff. That was great.
It was entertaining. He was actually entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cody retains.
Yeah,
That's your vote.
we're definitely thinking Jeff Hardy and Joe Hendry make an appearance.
It'd be interesting to see Matt in there too.
Yeah.
He was mediocre overall, but recently, like his last run without Heyman, he was great.
Where he put Roman over at SummerSlam and stuff like that. Like, that was
Yeah.
just really entertaining because he was so relaxed because of the people he was working with. He was able to just let his personality show, which is something before that Brock Lesnar just being the beast, there wasn't any room for personality.
I can see that.
I've always said that Orange Cassidy was the Deadpool of pro wrestling because of how he mocks the style of pro wrestling and somehow still makes it work. The whole hands in his pockets, the light kicks that the guy's still supposed to sell type deal. And yes, I could
There you go.
also
So,
see Joe Hendry in the Final Four as well. Omos needs to go back to NXT and learn how to cut a promo. And maybe work better as a big guy, because when you look at the big guys right now, that would be ahead of him on the chart. Braun Strowman, you have, which is levels above him and not even by much somehow. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, Braun Strowman just has better in-ring, I guess, which would come with time. Braun Breaker needs nobody.
Dude, I want Breaker to like I said, if he could be champion, if he could be in the main event of WrestleMania, all for it. That's my dude right there.
I would love to see if Braun shockingly won the Rumble and stayed Intercontinental Champion, and we have Braun Breaker Intercontinental Champion versus Cody Rhodes WWE Champion, and we just throw both titles on the line, and the winner will just vacate the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Obafemi is leagues above Omos, and he hasn't even sniffed the main roster yet. Just to put into perspective, Trick Williams, because he's a big guy, he's just a skinny big guy. Like, you see him stand up with Oba, you don't realize actually how big he is till then.
Yeah, I could see Rock and Orton. That would be a great match.
That would be an
Punk 30,
interesting
we know that's
match.
coming.
I would love to see how you would get there. I would love to see that path of how you get to Rock and Randy.
Legend Killer.
There you go.
No. But I mean, how do you get their path? How do we get both their roads to where Rock is on one road, Randy's
neither of them
on
are
another.
consistently on a show right now, so you can pretty much, it's
well,
like a ball of clay right now. You can do whatever you
Well,
want.
not
with
true. Not true, because we know Randy Orton's return is most likely going after KO. And for revenge for the
even
power.
believe
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just saying. Like, we get past all that. We'll say we get past, because this isn't till after WrestleMania now, right? That we would be hypothetically thinking about this, and it would be, how do we get The Rock veered away from Cody and the bloodline stuff?
Oh yeah.
And just how we get their past the cross and get to the match. Because once we get their past cross, the promos will be absolutely amazing. I think that.
Oh yeah.
I'm just more interested in how they get both characters past to cross.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it's a big ball of clay. You can do anything with it.
Just with everything else they've hinted at. I don't want the idea of them forgetting about Rock Cody or something like that, you know, something that we've gotten teases of, something that we've pretty much been
Right.
told, and then it's just all of a sudden not happening. Like, we're supposed to forget about that, you know, like that's a big moment. Little moments, okay, but not a big moment to forget. So, are we all here Cody winning or somebody taking? No, your mic.
KO.
Am I the only one hearing?
Oh, your
the-
mic's a little wonky.
Mine
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
it's all
I
fuzzy.
hear the walkiness too. You know what? I wouldn't be against another Sheamus Braun Breaker match if it's 3 months from now. I would be okay with that. I don't want to see it before then, though. So I take it. I think I got out of that KO you had picked. All right, we have KO. Who you got walking out with the WWE Championship?
I would love to see KO win. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Cody holds it until Mania.
Check. Can you hear me?
You have some weird static or something.
A little better.
Malachi Black, yes. I agree with that in the chat. Going to WWE, but his contract will not be up before the Royal Rumble.
Not
He
up
is
for a couple
still-
more weeks.
Yeah, so unless that he's able to get that figured out to be able to appear, which is something that could potentially happen.
How about now?
Yeah, there we
there you
go.
Are we good?
Yeah.
What the
Much
heck was
better.
that? I don't even know. I had to unplug my mic and plugged it back in.
I
That
don't
usually does the trick.
know.
KO.
At least it's not another Bray Wyatt situation like we had a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
So we had a conversation, and he's just sitting there how he is, and he didn't do a thumbs up or anything, and a thumbs up appears on his screen
That's
with
weird.
us talking about it. I'm like, oh, Bray Wyatt liked it, and then a second thumbs up appeared, and his hands were nowhere on the camera.
Yo, that's crazy.
There's a video of it actually on our page, on our YouTube page.
You should clip it out and turn it into a short.
We did.
Oh, you did?
I have to reclip it
well, we
though to
tried.
format it properly
Gotcha.
because of how the way it went with our cameras. I couldn't figure out yet how to move them.
Yeah, how to take it to the frame rate. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
just some time building reels.
Royal Rumble going to Saudi, horrible idea, and that's how much I'm going to talk about that till the Royal Rumble next year. It's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Didn't like the entire roster get held hostage in Saudi a while back, and they still go?
That
there
was for
every
the
year?
first show. That was the first show that they did Gray's
Yeah,
Royal
and
Rumble.
they still go there every year. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why? I don't know.
Just real quick for anybody who cares.
Yeah, money. That's right.
The Buffalo Bills are currently winning against the Kansas City Chiefs 10-7.
Yeah, that won't last.
I hope it does.
Bring on Taylor Swift.
I
Oh,
definitely think, because you know what? If I'm looking at it too, Randy comes back goes after KO. You could literally squash that feud with a Randy Orton Royal Rumble win on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, because what would be a good big win for Randy? Defeating the man who put him out with the package pile driver. Which I love,
Right.
by the way, that WWE's figured out a way to bring back a pile driver move and have it make sense to why now, explaining why it's banned. You know, like I've definitely enjoyed that angle to it, to what they've done.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, making it all controversial that he's using a pile driver and everything.
Yeah, so anybody else have anything from the wrestling world they would like to bring up?
I like the New Day.
This
heat
Mahomes
right
is
now.
going to need State Farm.
As that comes up, there is currently a picture-in-picture State Farm commercial going during the game. Just,
God, love it.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been liking the heat that the New Day's getting with the heel turn. It's been funny.
Yeah,
then
it's been
JBL
great.
on Monday, just cooking them too. He was cracking me
Oh
up.
yeah. Just another thing. I don't know how much you watch GCW and stuff, but PCO destroying the TNA Digital Media Championship, which apparently wasn't even the real championship to begin with. During the
And then them just erasing that from history.
apparently in TNA, Steph DeLander has divorced PCO and got everything,
Yeah.
including the digital
And got
media
the title in the divorce.
Yep. And with that, we got the debut of Mance Warner in TNA, which I wasn't surprised at that it wasn't a full pop from the crowd watching that show. But there was a pop in the crowd and people knew who he was. And I'm very excited to see Mance Warner get that opportunity, because that's not really a spotlight we've seen him in yet. And he's done a lot of great things in GCW. And now to see him in probably a bit more structured atmosphere per se, as in
Right.
TV every week, stuff like that will be interesting. To a point where,
Well, it's tapings. It's not TV every week.
well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're still they're still showing up for TV. They're still performing in front of live people to tape, and it looks like TNA is going to start doing live shows a bit more.
Right, once a month, I think I heard.
Yeah, good for them. Start getting their way back into that, because that's going to be good for them to get a better TV deal. Because a lot of people,
Oh yeah.
TNA has up until this past Thursday had been pre-taped for the last 8 years.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I
To
just
them-
assumed that everybody was live, like Raw and like WWE.
Yeah, nope. But yeah, TNA, I think, is doing absolutely great things right now. If you can find it online to watch, whether through the TNA app or through Access TV somehow, I highly recommend to start watching now. For a long time I was in and out of AEW. Like, I watched for like Main Event Mafia when they did that. I loved Aces and Eights. That was one of my, also because it made Hogan look like a fool, and anything that makes Hogan look like a fool, you get 2 thumbs up from me.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've never been a Hogan fan, even in the 80s as a kid. I
Yeah.
was not a Hogan fan. I was the
Same.
Macho Man fan. I was the Ric Flair fan, the Warrior fan. Yeah. So,
Jake the Snake.
yeah, anybody but Hogan or
Yeah.
Jarrett, and I was happy.
Mr. Perfect.
Oh, talk about somebody who should have been a world champion in WWF.
Dude, right. What a freaking, that dude was awesome, man. Kurt, right? Kurt something?
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig, yeah.
But yeah, man,
Hennig.
definitely TNA doing great things.
Hennig.
Oh, Hennig, gotcha.
Yeah, they're definitely doing great things, and I would recommend definitely jumping on that bandwagon and checking it out if you haven't already.
Now, what's that on?
Axis, or you can
Axis.
Or you can subscribe to their app. It's like $10 a month. I think
a week.
Thursdays.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I work Thursday nights, so I can't watch it live.
But yeah, anything else we have for this week?
It's a pretty eventful week. I feel like we covered all aspects of it, though.
Yeah, we covered
Everything except the upcoming SPO show.
Ah, yes. Heck yeah. February 8th, right?
That I do agree with. Oh, I did completely forgot about Tessa Blanchard's promo this week.
With that.
Did her promo this week? Yes, that crowd was chanting racist at her.
I saw the video, but
I
no
hope that
context.
all that gets passed, but she was naming off people, great wrestling families, right? She even brought up like Stone Cold and stuff like that. I was waiting for her to name off Charlotte because she could get past all that stuff. I would love to see a Tessa Blanchard Charlotte Flair matchup. just to put that out into the universe. Two great wrestling families, both who were also horsemen families.
Why? Who's Tessa
There's
Blanchard
more than
from?
one royal family.
Tully Blanchard. Original Four Horsemen.
With Rick and,
Also, they show Tully with Arn Anderson, the Brainbusters.
Oh, yeah, they showed that.
That was yeah.
Gotcha.
That was her.
Gotcha.
That's her. That's his daughter.
Okay, that makes sense now.
And she's a
Saw Arn,
racist.
I was like, hey, look at Arn.
Yeah,
He
apparently.
still looks the same.
Oh yeah, he does.
Fucking Oafy bastard. He still looks exactly the same.
But yeah, we do have SPO coming up. Go ahead and plug that real quick. I don't have the graphics up on my thing currently, so they got taken off. But go ahead, talk about it real quick.
So yeah, February 8th, Harris Casino in Chester or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I think it's right on the border there. SPO, what's this one called? Not Roll the Dice. It's not on F and Necessary. What's this show called? I don't remember.
Give me a second.
How can I promo something if I don't have it in front?
I know, man. Like, aren't you supposed to be like, a spokesperson? Key to the City.
Key to the City, because there's a ladder match for the Key to the City. Yes.
Is that what there is? There's
It's going to be a great event. Lots of big names have been announced. Former WWE superstars, up and coming superstars. It's just going to be an amazing show, and we're all going to be there having a good old time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, come on out if you're local. If not, we will let you guys know how you can watch it.
Local to Pennsylvania,
and I believe
I've seen some diverse locations around.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and we're going to be doing a preview and review show, I believe. Danger Ginger, myself, and
nice.
I'm sorry. I would invite you along, but I don't know how everything's going to fall into place. So
Dude, don't even worry about it. I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, definitely. Next time that you guys have want to have a third or a guest on, like keep me in mind. Whenever.
Yeah, of course, man.
I'm looking forward to you guys doing
you
this.
You passed your audition.
Yeah, freaking, it's awesome that you guys are getting this opportunity because like you've been doing a great job with it so far, especially even promoting. Promotion. Even promoting SPO.
Oh, SPO has just done nothing but we have a good relationship with them going. They've been great with us, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing what we do right now. And, and if it wasn't for us, the shows will be a little bit quieter.
Yeah, exactly. Especially you get loud with the SPO.
Oh, yeah.
I was next to you.
Especially if I had a couple drinks in me.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You'll be able to actually drink at this one.
Yeah, dry January will be over.
Exactly.
What do we got? 5 days left.
Yeah.
I already set up on my beer channel. I already set up a countdown to the end of dry January live stream.
Nice.
I'm going to be streaming about 15 minutes before midnight, and then at midnight I'm going to crack a ship bottle Mexican stout.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
it's a great beer.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
All
One of
right.
my favorites.
Axe and Arrows Stout Rageous on Friday. They had like all these stouts.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right.
Quiet, he's back.
Yes, everybody be quiet. I'm back. So we get the SPO plugin.
Yep.
Most of it. Yeah.
SPO Keys to the City, Saturday, February 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in Philadelphia.
And don't forget about the meet and greet before the show.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be amazing.
At Harris, Philadelphia. Yep.
Yeah, Pat Sullivan last night, who unfortunately got KO'd in the first 30 seconds of his fight. That will be there. It happened. I didn't book it. I don't write that script.
It's gonna be Rick Blade and Simon Gotch versus Nate Wallace and Dave McCall.
The Rep. Yeah, that's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped
I
for
guess
this
the
show.
Buffalo Wild Wings mascot's going to be in the ladder match as well.
Hank the
'cause
Buffalo.
Yes.
I guess he'll be in a ladder match.
We got Tasha Steelz, Ruthie J.
Oh, Tasha Steele's coming back?
Yeah.
Nice. She was
Yeah,
there
she's
last
the
time.
champion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. She won last time, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
remember you were pointing out that, or Eddie had pointed out to me that
I
she was
did.
on TNA.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
don't forget, if you can find backseat silver to wear, you get a free ticket to the April show.
Yeah, so get yourself some silver to wear.
Yeah. Let me pull up this graphic that's on my screen real quick so I can read it off. Yeah, James Ellsworth will be there wrestling as well against Velcro. Rep Simon Gotch, Rick Blade, the back seats, and Johnny will be there at a table displaying, I do believe, the new tag team championship belts for the company.
That's right.
We will have the Chocolate Juggalo, Willie Mack, taking on Face.
You know who I'm waiting for, right? Homeless Vaughn.
Yes, Homeless Vaughn and Kurt Robinson in the dumpster match.
That's my dude, Homeless Vaughn.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match.
But yes, guys, that event looks like it's going to be fun. We probably
got my ticket.
and most of the stuff
Primal Fear taking on Prime Time or Post Game or
the prime time
Prime
post
game?
game. I don't know
Post Time.
the time post. But yeah, great show this week. Mike, thank you for joining us. It was a
Thank you
pleasure
for
having
me.
you.
Yeah,
It was
man.
a lot of fun.
Feel free to return.
Yeah, let me know in the future whenever you guys want to have another guest on. I'm here and I'm available. This was a lot of fun,
Yeah, man. We'll definitely set something up.
without a doubt.
Yeah, man.
And event, I'll catch you guys at the SPO event, man. I'm looking forward to it.
That's
And
right.
everybody in chat,
Oh, yeah.
thank you for joining us. Whether you're here for part of the show, whole show, just remember to like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, helps us out, gets more people seeing the channel and stuff like that. We appreciate everybody. Hopefully it warms up this week.
Yeah.
I could go for less snow and ice.
Well, I think I know next Monday is going to be in the 50s. So, like, I know we're starting to get back towards, like, some warmer temps right now. But who the hell knows how February is going to go?
Yeah,
It's always
right.
a wild card.
But yeah, everybody, again, thank you. Be safe out there this week. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next week for another episode of BG and DG Talk Wrestling.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!